Get 'em Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the Kraken. We stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Lead the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They get slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon. We be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, March 3rd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. J-Dub says the LA Clippers are dead to me. That was astonishing second half. Just astonishing. It was a frustrating night. You know, cash the Senators full game, but lose the first period. So slight profit there. Cash the first period under 1.5 in Tampa, Pittsburgh. At that point, I'm set up for a big night, but lose the under, and then Pittsburgh wins that game. Pittsburgh's coming on, which will might throw a curveball to what our expectations are in the Eastern Conference playoffs. But with Buffalo and Detroit completely falling off, doors open for them. Capitals falling off, doors wide open for them. A frustrating night. Illinois first half, and then Southern Alabama first half, and then not moving on them. Southern Alabama live at 3.5, when I could have made the quick decision. I mean, they scored quick. I could have got them plus 1.5, heavily juiced at halftime, or just taken them. They were favored on the money line actually at minus 115. I didn't do that. South Alabama first half, Illinois first half, they both lose, but they win out. We were right with Arkansas State. Old Dominion was just a travesty. I'm just losing bets by half a point and just feeling snake bit. That Illinois loss was by half a point. Snake bit and frustrated. I know that I have a full day of horse racing action tomorrow, which I need just for my own psyche. I just want to have some drinks, hammer horses all day with my friends. Like it's the tonic for me for happiness. And then I have the Sunday night live stream. So I know that I'm going to have opportunities this weekend to love this. And that's why I love what we do every day. I love capping. I love gambling. But good God, I feel weight on my shoulders with just feeling snake bit. I'm angry. I'm angry right now. I know we got Pubapalooza at the end of the month. There's so many things I have to be excited about, and yet I'm extremely frustrated, extremely angry. There's certain things I can't talk about anymore. Like I just can't talk about the Canucks anymore. There's certain things that just throw me into this, wild. The Wild -1 last night. They win 2-1. They had so many chances, to easily cover that. It's just, if losing was just something normal around here, we could just move on. It wouldn't be so irritating. And I have to watch my language for the first 8 minutes of every stream. But it's not. And last year was spectacular, and we won 10 months straight, and it was my best gambling year of my life. So I'm really frustrated. We have Bobano joining us. I'm excited to work with him. We have DutchBoyFresh for NBA. We're going to cap all of the college basketball games, all afternoon games. We have 10 conference games picked out. You can see the schedule on our video description. But I'm really frustrated and, off the sauce, eating healthy and angry. Just feel like I have this inner rage that I know I don't have. I never raise my voice in life. I never yell ever. I'm a pretty calm guy, but I'm also used to success. And I've in my life I've always gambled my way out of things. Worked hard, capped hard, believed in the process. And I'm going to continue doing that. This is where I stand right now. I'm just frustrated. J. Rowe from says, how about those Bruins? They're built different. They were available to me, futures at plus 375. I was given a boost to 425, and I didn't bet it. But Maybe I probably should have. I tell you what I did bet, though. I bet the Lakers to make the playoffs at plus 165. So that's my third future. Now I have the Raptors to make the playoffs at plus 180, the Wizards to make the playoffs at plus 290, and the Lakers to make the playoffs at plus 165. Pretty comfortable with them, but only three futures in NBA. But I'm angry. Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly just had a great night last night. Won all of my early bets. Didn't like anything Clips Dubs. And my son calls me out drinking with the boys. Who you like, Clips or Dubs? Ruined my day. Says I've done everything to teach him that you take sports betting seriously. You'll never beat the books if you're partying and betting. If you don't crunch, good dad if you force bets. I'm a failure as a father. I love you, Dad. There's Fat Win. Says Konnichiwa, Jimmy. I'll be at Kyoto versus Tokyo soccer game today with locals. This local tells me Tokyo wins the game. So there's from our Fap Win. Fap Win. We have a full day of horse racing tomorrow. I hope you rock with us. Ken Mizrahi. Ken Mizrahi is positive energy. I need to be around more. Rocco Rogers, J Dub, Clint started the Die Hard MMA podcast. There's Nutflush Allen. What a spectacular job Nutflush did yesterday. He was on the Detroit Red Wings team total over 3.5 at plus 142. He's on the Panthers team total under 3.5 at plus 110. That was a very easy under as well. LJ from H-Town. Trill OG play of the day is in. Denver minus 5.5. Let's get that locked in. We will discuss that spot with DutchBoyFresh. I've only made 2 bets here so far before the day has started. And we got to move quickly because we want to get through 5 NHL games and then hammer the college basketball game. And the first one's at 12 p.m. So we got to be quick. So shout out to all you guys. Subhuman Gaucho, Coin, Lee Davis says can't trust Tampa in big games anymore. Yvonne Polo in the house. Yo-Yo Mendez. RVD, nice to have. Yvonne Polo having a big night. There's Fanatical Jim. Bleds W. Sean Pulliam. Series Business. RVD 420 says, what book do you use for horses? RVD, are you in America or Canada? Because we use the tote. There are books that are fine, but we use the tote. So the Americans are using TVG. The Canadians are using HPI. So, all right. Tay Butta, ready to go. Yo-Yo Mendes, Kadesh, Cash Clay Thompson, 25.9 points. Great job. Shogun Soup, ready to go. Slatsy says, worst night of the year in NHL, pulling back on plays, but this is a place to get right. Says, know the feeling, Jimmy. 3 straight winning years, now losing big. Yeah, Slatsy. I always, keep an eye on what you're up to. And it was tough last night. You believed in Florida after, a season-defining performance, and they're a tough team to cap right now, except they're going to be low-scoring games. I think that's the only thing we can bank on with Florida right now, low-scoring games. I believe with Barkov and Bennett out and them still trying that the unders are going to hit sort of like the Avalanche unders were hitting nonstop without McKinnon. All right, we got to get to work. Billy Friedrich, Viper, MB, AOD. There's Sun Dizzle in the house. Manitoba Slim says, always darkest before the dawn. I like that. D-Money, Lucas, Ryan says, Indiana State was very fun to watch. Drank about 16 cocktails. I love it. Shogun Soup saying you get minus 4.5 on Nuggets on points bet. Sky Dragon says, fading Florida yesterday was so easy. Thanks to me. Yeah, I mean, I didn't do it. I still I hate Nashville, but at least the under. But I should have doubled up with the team total under. It's just I seem to be capping fine. It's the betting that is the problem. Nasty name Mr. Trifecta says breaking news, no NHL today. In fact, there's going to be breaking news on NHL today. Trading deadlines at 3 p.m. Eastern, so Jose will be in charge of letting us know. There's been a ton of moves made already. Rocco says we need all the positive energy today to go into the weekend glorious. All right. And Slatsy, you're a hell of an NHL capper. Let's get together here and turn it around, and we have the right man for the job. Please welcome from Hamilton on RVD. I would use TVG. You'll get a free account. Open up a free account, and you'll also get all the races. You'll have all the races as well live from every track. So that's what I do. Open up a TVG account, unless you're in Kentucky. All right, let's get to work and bring on your guest, your star of. No, you're right, Sky Dragon. I'm just not betting smart. I feel like the capping's still there. I'm glad that you cashed on it, man. Oh, DG, I can't wait to bet the horses with you tomorrow. And I got Kraken just screaming at me, saying, open me. And I keep saying, shut the fuck. Oh, we're at 8 minutes. I can swear. Let's bring on your first guest from Hamilton, Ontario. Canada's black and yellow. Please welcome Ian Cameron to the show. Bobano, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. What's going on with the horse racing? It's a big horse racing day tomorrow. I didn't know that.
Well, it's the Road to Kentucky Derby. We have 3 big prep races, 4 if you include Turfway, which I don't. But yeah, 3 big prep races, 50 points to the winner. We have the Fountain of Youth in Florida, the San Felipe in California.
I'm thinking Florida Derby. That's why. So there's other races before that to get ready for that. Yeah.
This is the big one. Florida Derby's April 1st. That'll be our next race day after this.
Yeah.
I think I may not be able to do April 8th anymore, where that's the Santa Anita Derby, just because that's Easter weekend and I have my live stream on Sunday and I can't just not be around at all for the family on Easter. So we'll talk about all of that. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited about hammering horse tomorrow. But we got to get that cash right now. We got to be somewhat quick.
Yep.
Nice job, Don Play, because we need to. Yes, C. James, big horse show tomorrow, my man. We need to get to the Charleston Southern game at 12 p.m. Eastern. Charleston Southern Buccaneers playing UNC Asheville Bulldogs. So let's get to work. And get that cash, Bobano. Are you ready to rock?
I'm ready. Yes, conference tournaments. I love them.
Let's
this time of year.
Go. Let's go. And yes, I know we're excited about the NCAA, but we're starting with NHL. Seattle Kraken 34-21-6, 19-9-3 on the road at Columbus Blue Jackets 20-35-6, 13-18-2 at home. Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Philip Grubauer and Elvis Merzlikins going head-to-head. Grubauer 9-11-3. 3.05 goals against average, 894 save percentage. Do you have Grubauer in the between the pipes here, Bobano?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Projected.
Merzlikins 7-15-2, 4.10 goals against average, 879 save percentage. Merzlikins has the keys to the crease, not due to success, but he is. Korpisalo's out, and Johnny Quick was moved real quick. No pun intended. Seattle 5-4-1 over the past 10, 20% power play, 87% penalty killing. Columbus 5-3-2, 18.5% power play, 76.9%. Our Sports Insights package is we're deciding whether we're going to re-up. I've decided to give Action a try, as it's a tenth of the price. So I'm going to have the Action Network up for bets and money here for today. So let's get into NHL and see where we are in NHL. But I don't need to know where the cash is in NHL. So we'll have that ready for college basketball. But let's look at the line history for this one. I made 2 bets in NHL. This wasn't one of them, although I am interested in it. We have Columbus, a move towards Columbus, who's playing good hockey right now. They opened up at plus 143. They got up to plus 151 by 2 in the morning, but money's coming back in on them. They're now at plus 138. Totals-wise, it's opened up at 6.5 minus 109 to the over. Now it's minus 113. I'm still hesitant to back Columbus, but I don't want anything to do with Seattle here. Seattle on the second half of a back-to-back after winning their second straight game, 5-4 in overtime in Detroit last night. It was pretty ugly. This is not a team that will win in the playoffs. They were out-hit 38-20 and lost the face-off battle 37-29. This is not areas you want to be struggling in moving into the playoffs. Columbus comes in off its second win in 3 games, 5-3 at Buffalo on Tuesday, but we've talked about what Buffalo is without Rasmus Dahlin and Alex Tuck, and asking power and young defensemen to step up and play 25 minutes a game. It's not working. And they're feeling the brunt of a long season. Take it away for us here, Bobano. Kraken, Blue Jackets.
Yeah, I like goals in this game. Over 6.5 for me in this one with the Kraken and Jackets. The Blue Jackets are going to be in a lot of, I think, high-scoring games. We saw against Buffalo, they still have some offense. They're still capable of putting the puck in the net. But you look at what this team is going to be now defensively. They just traded away They don't have many good defensive-minded defensemen. They just don't, and they just traded away their best one in Gavrikov, who's now in LA with the Kings. So this was already a team that was not great in their own end, and obviously that's a big part of why they're not a good team this year. And they're probably going to be a lot worse now defensively without Gavrikov on the ice. Merzlikins in net, and we know the rough season he's had. He's actually been worse at home. If you actually look at his performances, I think the cannon bothers him. We know why, PTSD from that whole incident. I think that really is part of it. He actually has played a little bit better, but most of those games have been on the road. At home, he really still struggles. And, of course, this is a home game for him and for the Jackets. Seattle offensively, they're fine offensively. They scored a bunch of goals against St. Louis. They scored a bunch of goals last night against Detroit. So I think they'll find the back of the net. I think they'll get 3-4 goals minimum in this game. And I think Columbus is capable of chipping in some as well. We expect Grubauer, although Grubauer, played last night and replaced Martin Jones, who was terrible. But I think they're going to go to Grubauer. Martin Jones had a nice little first half, a nice little anomaly there with the way he played in the first half, but he's back to being Martin Jones again here of late, and he hasn't been good. So I expect Grubauer and net. I just expect goals here. I think Columbus can chip in, and I think at home we've seen this team actually be able to put the puck in the net. We saw Columbus score 5 against Buffalo in home games. They scored 6 against Edmonton. They beat Winnipeg, scored 3 goals. They scored 4 in a win against Dallas. So capable offensive team. I think we're going to see goals both ways. So for me, over 6.5.
Over 6.5. I can't believe I wasn't on the over yesterday. I can understand being on it here. Over 6.5. We can get you that at minus 105 at 5 dimes. It's a nice number right there. Bobano is on the board over 6.5 minus 105. And we have our sign up for Pubapalooza events here, Jose. If you want to pin that, I think you pinned the wrong one. I unpinned it. But if you want to pin the Pub Sports Radio message there for the Google Docs, it is right there to sign up. Coin says back-to-back spot for Seattle. It's a tough spot, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anybody rushing to bet Seattle. Mike M says Seattle under team total. Says 0-12 spot with a loss margin of 2.25 goals. Clint says the Blue Jackets are being feisty. I keep trying to step on them, but they keep showing up. They do. And, they're actually a little healthier than they've been all year, despite losing a top defenseman. With all that said, I guess I just don't want to be involved. Seattle does have a forward group that makes me uncomfortable. A good forward group, and I don't really want to fade them. But it'd be Blue Jackets or no bet. If you had a free $500 bet to make on the side money line right now, would you be on the dog in this spot?
That's a tough one. Columbus has been feisty lately. It is back-to-back for Seattle, but they just traded away so many guys, and some really some pieces that were important, especially in the back end. I think Columbus maybe a few days ago might be in a better bet. I don't know post all these trades if they are now.
All right, let's roll on because we want to get to college basketball afternoon action here and have time to get our action in. Let's move on. 9 p.m. Eastern. Winnipeg Jets 35-24-2, 15-14-1 on the road at the Edmonton Oilers 33-21-8, 15-12-5 at home. We're at Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta. I have Connor Hellebuck and Stuart Skinner, although I'm not certain that Skinner will be in between the pipes. Hellebuck 26-18-2, 2.52 goals against average, 922 save percentage, 3 shutouts. He's coming back to earth a little bit, but he's still playing phenomenally well. If you go back to their last victory, it was a while ago. I mean, they've lost 4 straight, but their last victory, they were at shot 51-21 in New York, and he stood on his head. Skinner is listed right now. I'm not sure if he will be in between the pipes. He's also coming back to earth as well. I mean, he wasn't playing otherworldly like Hellebuck was, but he was playing decent. He's coming back. 2.88 goals against average, 912 save percentage. Winnipeg 4-5-1 over the past 10, 13.2% power play, 87.5% penalty killing. Edmonton 4-3-3, 31.4% power play, 72.2% penalty killing. We have Earl on the Jets plus 137. For me, Pierre-Luc Dubois has to be back into the lineup. He's in a contract season. And he's a guy that people have questioned character at times throughout his career. And no surprise, there's a huge amount of money on the line, and he's having his best season of his career. And he's been hurt, and it's hurt the Jets badly. One of the rules for me, Earl, and I, you never talk a friend off a dog, Earl. But for me, if a team is missing 2 of their top 4 defensemen, I want to fade them badly. If a team is missing centermen, I want to fade them badly. And the Jets have 4 centers injured. So Pierre-Luc Dubois, Mason Appleton, David Gustafson, and Cole Perfetti. Adam Lowry, who you don't want as a top 6 forward. You want him to be your third-line centerman. You want him in important spots, but you don't want him you don't want to need offense from Lowry. He's moved up to the second line centerman. They haven't moved Blake Wheeler over to center. Maybe they do at times throughout the game, but they haven't at this point. And they want their top line to score. So I'm on the Edmonton Oilers here. I believe in the Oilers in this spot. Before the 6-5 loss in the shootout to LA against the LA team that was upset, I guess, supposedly about John Quick being moved, they were outscored 9-1 in their first 2 games of the homestand by Colorado and the Islanders. And the Jets may do something today. They have to. They have to get a centerman in. So we're expecting that to happen, but we'll have to see. The Oilers coming off defeating the Leafs 5-2 at home on Wednesday. Matthias Ekholm was the gift that I was hoping that they would receive. 6'4", 215-pound defenseman. Evander Kane has missed 6 straight games due to an upper body injury. I moved on the Oilers on the -1 line, and I can understand wanting to fade the Oilers, especially at home. The fact that they have won just 15 of 32 home games in regulation is shocking. Are they going to progress to the mean at home, or are they just not to be trusted at home? They're certainly a spectacular fade at home. But it's crunch time, and they have their stud, stay-at-home, big, crease-clearing defenseman. And I think that they beat the Winnipeg Jets here, and I'm on them. Quick line breakdown, and then Bobano will take over here. We have the Oilers opening up -154. They're now -156. We saw similar non-movement in the Wild game last night, and the Canucks played pretty well. In the total scenario here, opened up at 6.5, juiced to the over, pretty heavy. It got even heavier at -132. It's come back 6 cents, but it's right where it opened. Take it away, Bobano. Little old Smythe Division battle, Jets, Oilers.
Yes, it is. You're right. I don't want the Jets. They're struggling right now. They've hit their first significant rough patch of the season. And even Connor Hellebuck, I thought that was supposed to be a bounce back spot for him against the LA Kings. That was his first spot time after getting pulled against Colorado in net, and he didn't play that great. The whole team, didn't play well. They started strong, but coughed up a lead, lost in a shootout to LA. My hope is that actually Winnipeg wins tonight, and if they win tonight, I'll be on Edmonton in the rematch tomorrow. Because I like Edmonton on the road. Edmonton's actually been better on the road. That's what I'm planning to do. I'm planning to stay off this game. And the hope is let's get back on Edmonton tomorrow night if they lose tonight at home. Yeah, because they've actually been the better road team of all season long. They've been better away from home. They're 18-12 on the road. They're just 15-17 at home. So we'll see how they fare here. Winnipeg, I'm sure, they're supposed to be bringing a sense of desperation and urgency here. 4 straight losses. And I thought I'd see it against the Islanders. We didn't. We did see it early against LA, but again, they couldn't hold that lead, and that's in that second straight time when Connor Hellebuck hasn't been great. And Hellebuck hasn't been as good against Edmonton either in some of his recent starts. And I love the way the Oilers played against Toronto. I thought defensively they were as good as they've looked all season, really. I mean, in terms of keeping the gaps tight, not giving the Leafs best players time and space all over the ice. And boy, was Matthias Ekholm a big help with that in that department, putting guys down on the ice with big hits, clearing the front of the net, getting the puck out of the zone, the little things defensively that the Oilers sometimes struggle to do. Ekholm does them. It's a very nice addition for them. So I think, I lean Edmonton with you, but I don't love the price. I don't trust this team consistently, especially at home, to put 2 good games in a row. When is the last time they've won 2 home games in a row? I'd love to know that. I think it's been a while, but my hope is maybe Winnipeg steals it, and then it's a great spot to back Edmonton in the rematch when these teams play again tomorrow night in Winnipeg. But pass for me on this game tonight.
I get it on the opening of a back-to-back. I'm very interested in watching the Oilers closely, and Ekholm was just – if they had picked up Carlson, they're screwed. They don't. What does it matter? Your power play is already the best in the league, but you pick up Ekholm, beautiful. Some Canadian teams have been doing some nice things. I love Luke Schenn.
You can't even compare the defensive acumen of Erik Karlsson to Matthias Ekholm, and that was the need. The need is shoring up the back end defensively. They don't need another puck mover. They don't need another power play guy. They don't.
I love Ekholm too. I love him at the contract he's in. They pick up a defenseman that they can have for 3 years. It's just spectacular.
Now they did lose one in Tyson Barrie, a puck moving defenseman to quarterback the power play in the deal for Ekholm, but they believe in Evan Bouchard. You know, they think
Very
he
much.
can step into that role and fill it and be very good. He's got a hell of a shot. I say, why not? Like, Barry will be missed in that regard. Barry's defensively a liability, though. You know, he's not great in his own end. They'll miss that element of Tyson Barrie going to Nashville in that trade, but they believe Evan Bouchard's ready to take on that mantle, take on that role. So, and I kind of think he is, because he's got a booming shot. I think he's ready to become an impact defenseman, quarterbacking a power play, the best power play going.
A ton of teams are trying to pry him off the Oilers in the offseason. He's a stud, 23-year-old stud. All right, let's move on. I am on the Oilers -1. This is my second look on the board. And there was a big move towards the over in Carolina, Arizona, about 7 o'clock last night. A big move at Pinnacle, a book I respect. But I don't care. I just don't care. We're in Mullett Arena in Tempe, Arizona. Hurricanes 39-12-8, 18-5-6 on the road. Coyotes 21-31-9, 14-10-2 at home. I have Freddie Anderson and Karel Vejmelka listed. Carolina, Freddie Anderson, if he goes, 2.50 goals against average, 903 save percentage. Shocking numbers for such a strong defensive squad. He should have much, much better numbers than he has. Vejmelka, 3.32 goals against average, 904 save percentage, 3 shots. Imagine if he was playing behind the Hurricanes. The goaltending roulette that the Hurricanes have played over the last couple of years, this is what you're ending with when you have such a great squad where you can really make a move. It's a little surprising to me. And look, nobody wants John Gibson's contract, but even him, I'm like, I wonder what he would look like. And I understand why the Leafs didn't want him in the offseason, but I just, going in with Ranta and Anderson, I don't think they're going to be holding the cup over their heads. Carolina, though, 7-3-0 over the past 10, 25% power play, 88.9% penalty killing. Arizona, 4-3-3, 23.1% power play, 76.3% penalty killing. Carolina comes in off their second straight loss, 3-2 at Vegas on Wednesday night. They played 5 straight unders overall. They played the 4 straight unders on the road, and I'm on the under 6 here. Money line wise, Carolina opened up -317 and now -342. Totals wise, again, this opened under 6 and -111 at Pinnacle. It's now under 6 and -103, so an 8-cent move in the wrong direction for me. And the Yotes coming off their third loss in 4 games, 4-2 at Dallas on Wednesday. First line right winger Nick Schmaltz got hurt in that loss, so he's day-to-day with an upper body injury. They've also played the 2 straight unders. Clint says, my Coyotes are scrappy as fuck, but it's hard to see them doing much of anything. No Chikrin, no Ghost, no Bukestad. Not that Bukestad, but no, and he's now with Edmonton. I'm not sure if he'll be playing tonight, but no Schmaltz he took a puck to the face. That's what happened. So it's just hard to see them competing. Nate Dogg is on the over 6. He's on Carolina money line in the over 6. And Mike M says Coyotes covering puck line 6 in a row as a dog after a road loss +1.5. Take it away for us here, Bobano. We got to tighten it up a little bit because we have our first game tipping off in 30 minutes in basketball. Carolina, Arizona.
Yeah, I like Carolina first period here, puck line, -0.5. I think that's the best way to play it. Certainly the best value. There's nothing with the reg line. There's nothing with the full game puck line, which you have to lay a decent price, like -135. When you play a team like this, that's bottom feeder, just traded away most of their key guys. I mean, Clayton Keller and Barrett Hayton and some others are still there, but Gostis Bear got moved, Chikrin got moved. There's definitely that defense is. You can have your way against Arizona's defense right now with who they moved out. And certainly you would think Carolina in a spot where they're not going to take a team like the Arizona Coyotes lightly, losing to Vegas, losing to Anaheim, their last 2 games, back-to-back losses. Now, yes, they do play Tampa, of course, on Sunday. I get that lead, but I don't think you look past Arizona, not when you've lost 2 in a row. I know the Tampa game is huge on Sunday, but not when you've lost 2 in a row. And I think in the first period, focus is there to bounce back, get back, and at least get off to a good start, get the lead in the first 20 minutes. So that's really the premise of this bet. I think the better team, that whenever they play Arizona, when they're focused and they're on a losing streak and they need to stop the bleeding, Arizona is the team you can get right. When you're feeling good about yourself and you're winning a bunch of games in a row and things are going nicely, that's when Arizona can get you because you just don't have that full intensity and focus zoned in on this opponent. I think Carolina has it tonight, and I think they show it especially early. So Carolina first period puck line -0.5 +110.
Yeah, I get it. That's a good look. Billy Friedrich says Canes are 1-2-1 the last 4 games when I'm there watching them in person. Says I'll be in attendance on Sunday afternoon in Carolina when they face Tampa Bay for what it's worth. Yes, Peyton, we're going to hit that in about 8 minutes, we hope. There are rumors that Vejmelka might be moved later today, but Ingram has been playing good enough hockey for me. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 10 p.m. Eastern, Montreal Canadiens 26-30-4, 12-15-3 on the road at Anaheim Ducks 20-34-8, 10-16-2 at home, Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Sammy Montembeault supposed to be between the pipes, 12-12-2, 3.31 goals against average, 905 save percentage, no shutouts. Johnny Gibson on the other side, 12-23-7, 3.94 goals against average, 902 shutouts, 902 save percentage, 1 shutout. And Slatsy says Coyotes taking dead contracts, dumping players, playing in the barn. What a disgrace for the NHL. I agree, but I cannot keep talking about my wanting to arson Mullett Arena. I don't think that's a healthy thing for us to be talking about here, especially if it does light up, I don't want the cops knocking on the door. Montreal in the second half, back-to-back after losing 3-2 to the Kings on Thursday night. Anaheim comes in off having their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 3-2 overtime loss at home versus Washington on Wednesday night. The thing about Anaheim, they're actually playing better. And I expect Mason McTavish to just improve and to be the best player on this team. I think he'll be better than Zegras. I would bet it that he'll be a better hockey player in his career than Zegras. I've been very disappointed in Zegras this year. I know that losing is tough on a kid that's used to winning. But the Ducks are already dealing with injuries. So Jamie Drysdale and Euro Vakanainen out. They've held out Klingberg and Dmitry Kulikov to ensure that they stay healthy for a trade. So this is my situation. If the Ducks don't move those two defensemen by 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll probably need to wait till 4 p.m. Eastern just to make sure. I want the Ducks. I can understand why nobody wants them as a favorite, especially with these two. Are we going to have 4 defensemen out of line? I get it. Montreal's gone from plus 114 to plus 106, and totals-wise, it's going to open up at 6. Went up 6.5 a couple times. It's back at 6. It's being 6 cent move to the over. That's my situation. So I need to know, want to know. Take it away here for us, Bobano. Habs, Ducks.
Yeah, we don't know who's going to be in net here yet. Montembeault probably for Montreal on the back-to-back after it was Jake Allen last night. Assume that anyway. Probably John Gibson here for Anaheim. Anaheim continues to play very feisty hockey. Let's give them credit. They won 3 in a row. They lost in overtime to Washington 3-2 in their last game. Montreal, though, they gave LA a battle last night, 3-2 loss for the Canadiens against the Kings. This has been a very, very high-scoring series history. I kind of tend to agree that I think the over is probably the way I would go in this game. I think, and especially with Montreal on the back-to-back, it could get those, those tired legs. And to be honest with you, I thought defensively they hung in there pretty nicely against the LA last night. They are 5-4 this year, by the way, to the over on the second night of a back-to-back this season, and 5-4 actually their win-loss record as well. Yeah, I'm looking at the series history with these teams. We've seen 3 straight overs. 4 of the last 5 meetings between Montreal and Anaheim have gone over the total. So we'll go with that at over -114. Actually, over -110 at bookmaker. Over 6 -110 with Montreal Anaheim.
You got it. Bobano has locked in over 6 -110 for Bobano. All right, let's get to the final game on the ice and then move in on college basketball action because we have tip-off in 25 minutes. 10 p.m. Eastern, New Jersey Devils 40-15-5. Look at that superlative road record, 22-4-3. At the Vegas Golden Knights, 36-19 and 6-19, 13-1 at home at T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. Vitek Vanacek, 26-6-3, 2.46 goals against average, 9-10 save percentage, 2 shutouts. And his numbers have been quietly dropping. Is it Johnny Quick's debut tonight?
I doubt it. I think it'll probably be Aiden Hill, but you never know.
Aiden Hill, 15-6-1, 2.50 goals against average, 9-12 save percentage, 0 shutouts. Lee Davis says Jersey highest edge of the day for me. Billy Friedrich says looks like Devils may not need home ice advantage in the playoffs with that road record. I still think they'd prefer to be at home than at Madison Square Garden in Game 7. I assume that. New Jersey 7-2-1 over their past 10, 20.8% power play, 84.6% penalty killing. Vegas 7-1-2, 4.8% power play. That's a big deal, 4.8% power play, 82.6% penalty killing. Let's take a look at the line history here and then move over to Bobano. We have a move towards the over and no movement on the side. The Devils opened up -107. They're now -106. No movement. To the totals, though, opened up at 6, and we've moved to 6.5 at Pinnacle. That's a big move, a big decision by them to do that. Devils coming off their third straight win, 7-5 at Colorado on Wednesday night. Devils still waiting on Timo Meier to make his debut. He did travel with the team. Knights snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 3-2 win at home over the Hurricanes on Wednesday night. Take it away for us here, Bobano. I'd like to fade the Vegas Knights. I have not had success doing that this year, and I don't really need to because I've got the Oilers to win the division, so I kind of have money on them losing here. But take it away for us. Love to hear it.
Yeah, and this game, this is New Jersey was very certainly offensively impressive against Colorado, but they did have Eustace on, and then it wasn't a great night for him. But still, you go to Colorado, you beat this team 7-5. It's very impressive. Obviously, the Golden Knights, they bring in Jonathan Quick yesterday, although I do think, like I said, Aiden Hill is going to be the goalie tonight. And he's played well, actually, for the Vegas Golden Knights. Really, ever since Logan Thompson went down, he's been solid. A nice win for them against Carolina. I don't want to go and get in New Jersey's way. New Jersey is, playing some really good hockey. They're on a nice win streak coming into tonight. But at the same time, they're a slight road favorite, against a Vegas team that just had a nice home win themselves against Carolina. I think a Vegas team that knows that, hey, we could play a little bit better at home than we have. So, I don't know if the price is what I'm liking. Like, if they were a slight dog, I'd probably do bet New Jersey here, but slight road favorite, maybe not so much do I like it. But I do have 2 bets on this game that I'm going to make official. I don't know if New Jersey's going to win, but I don't think they're going to get shut out, not with this offense. And the guy that has been getting it done, and the player that I've been rolling with, he's been on the top line with Hischier and Tatar. He's just been incredible. And we've been betting his goal prop and his point prop in every single recent game, and it's cashed in every single recent game. Dawson Mercer. We're going to go with a goal prop and a point prop for official plays with Dawson Mercer here in this game. He has been absolutely spectacular. I think, what is it now, 7 straight games for him with a goal and as well a point. I mean, he has been excellent. He's been finishing around the net every time he's gotten a chance, every time he's gotten a great look. He has been able to finish it off. He is at Bet365. Plus 350 to score a goal tonight. Plus 350. What a price that is. Playing on the top. I swear they're asleep, with this prop, everybody, especially that book, 365. To put this guy at plus 350 and he scored in 7 straight games and he's gotten a point for the New Jersey Devils in 7 straight games as well. That's absolutely ludicrous. So, yeah, Dawson Mercer plus 350 to score a goal at Bet365, and we're also going to take his point prop in this game as well. Let me just see what the best price on that is. It is minus 110 at BetMGM. So there you go. Goal and point, Dawson Mercer, New Jersey Devils.
I like it. Lock it in. Lock it in. Myron saying, I remember when people wanted Lindy Ruff fired earlier this season. Yeah, I remember talking about that with Birdie and Slatsy earlier in the year. I like Lindy Ruff. I've always been a Lindy Ruff fan. So there you have it. That is NHL. It is time to get into NCAA basketball. But Wild Hound, the European road to the Kentucky Derby in Dundalk tonight. Patton Stakes. So he's on 127 exacta, 127, 2457 trifecta. God, I can't wait to be hammering horses all day tomorrow. I can almost taste the Kraken. All right, let's review all action here. Bobano's on the over 6.5 at minus 105 in Seattle, Columbus. I'm on Edmonton minus 1. Bobano's on the Hurricanes minus 0.5 at plus 110. First period minus 0.5. First period minus 0.5 at plus 110. I'm on the under 6 in that game. Bobano's on the over 6 at minus 110 in Montreal, Anaheim. And he's on Mercer goal at plus 350 and point at minus 110. There is our NHL action. All right, let's move on to college basketball. We have 19 minutes before the tip-off of the Big South quarterfinal. Lots of time to get in our action. Let's get to work. College basketball here. We're in the Big South. Charleston Southern Buccaneers, 10-20, 5-13 in conference. At the UNC Asheville Bulldogs, we've had a hell of a season. 24-7, 16-2 in conference. Bojangles Coliseum, Charlotte, North Carolina. Take a look at the line history here for this one. Sorry, got to move over very quickly. And let's get to work. Interesting little early game. Over here to the bottom, and there it is. We have Asheville, a big move. Oh, shoot. Damn it, sorry, that's USC Upstate. A big move towards UNC Asheville since this line opened up. Over at Penny, this opened up at -8. It's now at -9.5. You go to Bet Online, and I believe we've gone from 7 to 9.5, and it even got to 10. It was at 10 at 11:05 this morning, so we've had a half-point buyback. Totals-wise, this opened up at 146.5, and it's dropped all the way down to 143.5. Let's take a look at cash for this one. 78% of the bets are on UNC Asheville, but just 33% of the cash, which is very interesting. Go over to the total here for this one. You have 56% of the tickets on the under and just 20% of the cash, which is surprising. Big bets are coming in on that over, which I understand if it wasn't, a 12 p.m. Eastern basketball game. Charleston Southern opened up their conference tournament with their second straight win, 72-70 over High Point as a 2.5-point favorites. I thought they were dogs. I'll have to double check what I wrote there. UNC Asheville came in off their sixth straight win in a 76-66 at Longwood. They beat up on Longwood as 6-point dogs to finish off their conference schedule. They shot 54.5% from the field and 57.9% from three. They defeated Charleston Southern 73-63 earlier in the year and then beat them again 80-62 at home last week as 10-point favorites. Take it away, Bobano. 17 minutes till tip-off. Charleston Southern, UNC Asheville.
Yeah, this is definitely an Asheville team that's rolling. Really playing well. I mean, certainly from a point spread perspective, they've been great. They've got a guy that can absolutely dominate in Drew Pember on this basketball team, an excellent guard, terrific player, excellent scorer. And one of those guys that, if close games in this tournament, he's a guy that can close, can finish, make big shots. I don't know if this game will be close. I mean, Southern had to gut it out with High Point a couple days ago, 72-70 win. I like the over, though, in this game. I think we can get enough points. I like over 143.5. I will make that official play, 143.5 over at DraftKings. I think we'll see enough points here. Asheville can push the pace. They're usually good to score into the 70s, if not the 80s. They had no problem scoring in the two meetings this year, head-to-head against Charleston Southern. Offensively, they were able to do their thing. I don't see why anything should change here. They scored 73. They scored 80 the last time these two teams played. Charleston Southern, of course, defensively, they're in the 300s in every category. I think the damning thing for them is they're 330th in the country defending the three-point shot, and Asheville is a high-rate three-point shooting team, 5th in the country in three-point percentage. They take a lot of threes. They make a lot of threes. So probably a little bit of a tricky matchup here. I know there's some people, and look, just because they're betting unders in these early, and I get why they're betting unders in these early games. They figure it's an early start time. The scoring and the shooting is going to be sluggish. It doesn't always work that way, though. If you actually look at the early games yesterday, especially that game with Illinois State and Northern Iowa, that game went over the total, and people were betting the hell out of that under. So be careful with that, that mindset of it's an early game, it's going to go under. It doesn't always work that way. I think the matchup actually points to over in this one. So I like over 143.5.
Over 143.5. That Charleston Southern game that we just saw. Now they do have, so some of these teams that we're going to be talking about today are played yesterday. Charleston Southern didn't. They played 2 days ago. So at least they got a night off. And they were 2.5-point dogs. That was right. I thought they were dogs in that one. Lucas Ryan cashed that over live in person. I love that, Lucas. And Coin says that's the way I'm attacking it too. So over 143.5 for Bobano. Let's see the best line we can give him here on this one. Let's move over to totals and the best line. Here we go. The market continues. There's lots of movement in this market. Of course, everybody wanting to bet college basketball today. But this total at 143.5 minus 113 is the best I can find at Pinnacle. This is at 144.5 at all the other books. Do you see a 110 anywhere?
Unless that's a stale, let me just see that I saw there, because I actually did bet it about an hour or so ago at DraftKings. It was over 143.5 at minus 110. Has it moved? The Pinnacle's definitely got 143.5, as you said, so that's fine.
Okay, we'll lock that in. All right, I'm a little hesitant here. With Charleston Southern in that spot. Now, we've seen teams that are playing a team that they've dominated in the regular season beat them up again in the first half. And so I'm certainly not thinking of moving on Charleston Southern, but I'm not that high on UNC Asheville at this point. Kenneth Vincent says favorites 12-2 against spread in the last 14 minutes. And by the way, we had a look from Daryl Turner who says Quick is in net tonight for Vegas.
Oh, wow. Is that true?
That's from.
How can that be confirmed? They haven't even hit the ice yet. Who's reporting that? Let me just see.
Okay, we'll take a look at that because that is important information here. I'm really excited to see if Quick is capable of stepping up. But we've been waiting for
8 a.m. local time in Vegas. I mean, they don't even hit the ice for morning skate for another couple hours. So I'm interested who's reporting that.
Okay, well, we will find out here. So let's wait on confirmation on that one. All right, let's move on. And Lazar traded to the Devils, says Fanatical Jim. We're going to have trades coming in while this show is going on that I'm all very interested in. All right, let's move on to MVC action, the quarterfinal. And as much as Northern Iowa Panthers have been bad this season, they opened up their conference tournament with a pretty impressive victory. 75-62 over Illinois State yesterday as 4-point favorites, and they're back in action right away. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Here we go. Northern Iowa, Bradley. We have this one pops off in an hour and 12 minutes. Bradley opening up at minus 9.5. They're now minus 11. I did see a couple books just move it to 10.5, but not Pinnacle. Pinnacle does have that minus 11 and plus money, though. Total wise here, we have it opening up at 134.5 at Pinnacle. It's still at 134.5. Let's go over to Bet Online. Bet Online opened this up at 136, dropped it to 134. Bet Online for the spread opened it up at 9.5, and it's at 11.5 for the Bradley Braves. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. Let's go start with the side for the spread here. We have 62% of the tickets on Northern Iowa and 81% of the cash. Strange that would be the case. So that's back-to-back games that we've talked about where the market's moving in the opposite direction of where the money's coming in. Total-wise here. Oops, sorry, that's money line. Total-wise, we have – I'll just move to all markets. How about that? Total-wise, we have – oh, sorry, take a second. Sorry, we have 49% of tickets on the over and 65% of cash on the over, and it's dropped 2 points. We did find a 143.5 at minus 110 at DraftKings. Thank you, Leonard. So let's take off those 3 cents of juice. Helps for our record keeping purposes. Jay Peasy says Northern Iowa will get served. Northern Iowa opened up their conference tournament with that win yesterday. Bradley comes in off their 10th straight victory. They're playing very good ball. 73-61 at home over Drake on Sunday is 3.5-point favorites. Bradley defeated Northern Iowa 68-53 at home earlier this year, then defeated them again at Northern Iowa in a much closer game, 77-69. And in that one, Bradley was just 3-point favorites, but took care of business, winning by 8. Take it away for us here, Bobano. This one pops off at 1 p.m. Northern Iowa, Bradley Braves.
This is getting a little high. I get it. Bradley's the better of these two teams, but Northern Iowa was I was on Northern Iowa yesterday, and they were very they almost totally blew a huge lead against Illinois State, but they got it back on the tracks late, and they managed to get back in and close that game out properly, which was good to see. But in this game, you look at it, Bradley obviously has been absolutely phenomenal, and it's tough to go against this group right now. They are entering this game, they've won 10 straight. They've covered us. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of their last 8 games. 7-0-1 actually ATS their last 8 games, and a lot of these wins too have been by blowout margins too. They've won by 12 against Drake, 10 against Valpo, 10 against Missouri State, 35 against Murray State, 18 against Illinois State, 8 against Northern Iowa, and 10 against Southern Illinois. But like I said, the last time they played Northern Iowa, they only won that game by 8. Now, it was at Northern Iowa earlier this year at Bradley's home court. They won by 15. Northern Iowa getting 11, and Northern Iowa is usually, especially under this coach long-term, someone I'm looking to back, especially as a bigger underdog. And you're talking about 11 points. So I actually do lean to NIU here a little bit. But again, Bradley's just been a monster, on this incredible win streak. They're by far the best defensive team as well in the Missouri Valley. And maybe that's going to show up here again. It's very interesting because Northern Iowa was kind of an over team, and now they're playing probably the ultimate under team because that Bradley team is just such a good defensive team. So definitely, it's kind of a clash of styles here with these two teams. But I do have a lean to UNI, but nothing more than that.
Yeah, I don't feel like it correlates enough for me to move on Bradley. I do think, though, if you wanted Northern Iowa, it would be in the first half. Those legs
before they run out of gas, maybe.
Yeah, those legs could get heavy in the second half. Sun Dizzle. We're trying to stay focused here with Sun Dizzle in the house. Kenneth Vincent said Braves are 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 neutral site games. He says he likes Northern Iowa +5 first half. I get it. I just don't have the balls to get in the way of Bradley right now. But I'm not going to support Bradley with my cash. That's upsetting to me that we're not going to have action here. So we will take a look at the live action on these spots. Be curious to see if that Big South Championship gets off to a slow start. So let us know if you're going to be moving live because yesterday it was just clear that South Alabama, when they were down 8 points, getting +3.5 was the look. Unfortunately, they hit a couple buckets right before halftime to move it 1.5, and I stopped. But let's keep an eye on it and let us know if you're moving live. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. We head to the CAA Championship first round. This pops off at 2 p.m. Eastern. There's Stimmy OG in the house. Monmouth Hawks 6-25, 5-13 in conference at the Hampton, or not at, but versus Hampton Pirates 8-23, 5. Oh, that's 8-23, 5-13 in conference as well. We're at the Entertainment and Sports Arena in Washington D.C. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Hampton Monmouth. We have Monmouth opening up as 1.5 point dogs. That's taken 7 cents of juice at Pinnacle. Let's see what BetOnline has done with this one, if they've done a similar thing. BetOnline opened this up as well, -1.5, but they moved it to 1. So they've moved it a half point in Monmouth's direction. Total-wise, this opened up at 143. It's dropped a half point to 142. It had gone down to as low as 141.5. So a slight move towards Monmouth. We have 65% of the tickets on Hampton and 26% of the cash. So there are bigger bets clearly coming in on Monmouth. Total-wise, there is 45% of the tickets on the over and 71% of the cash. It's funny because there was a legit move towards the under. That's where we stand there. So bigger bets coming in on Monmouth, market moving in Monmouth's direction. Monmouth comes in off its 4th straight loss, 74-62 at William and Mary Saturday, 3-point dogs. Hampton comes in off having their modest 2-game winning streak snapped, 73-72 in overtime at North Carolina A&T as 7-point dogs. Hampton won at Monmouth 83-66 earlier in the year, then defeated them again 8 days ago. 86-81 at home as 2.5-point favorites. Are you surprised at this market? Are you surprised at this number for Monmouth, or is there an explanation? Take it away.
Yeah, I like Monmouth here, +1.5, and the over. I'm on both side and total in this game. So over +1.5 on Monmouth here, -110 at PointsBet, and I'm on over 141.5, -110 at Unibet. So there we go. Over 141.5, -110 at Unibet. Monmouth +1.5, -110 at PointsBet. I know Hampton beat Monmouth twice, but I think that's telling you all you need to know. And yet Hampton's only a 1-point favorite here, and the money's coming in on Monmouth. And Monmouth's been a cash machine for me here in this game, this back half of the season. I know they're on a little bit of a losing streak right now, but to me, this is a coin flip game. Neither team's great defensively, which is why I like the over as well. Monmouth, by the way, has been surging to the over down the stretch here of the season. They've been trending over big time. King Rice's team, definitely plays with pace, but they haven't always gotten stops. But they can be a capable offensive team. Hampton's going to push tempo. We see that. They're not always offensively efficient, but they certainly put up a big number against Monmouth when they played earlier this season. In both games, 86 and 83. Both of those games soared over the total. I see more of the same here, but I just think I like the dynamics here. If these teams just played a couple of weeks ago, Hampton won a close one, and it was a game where Monmouth was actually leading in the second half. And now Monmouth, a slight dog. I think they can win this basketball game. And this is a coach that's really been around the block when it comes to conference tournaments. He's obviously had a rebuilding Monmouth team that was horrible early in the season, but they have definitely improved a little bit here the last couple of months just in terms of being competitive. And to me, this is an opponent here, the Hampton Pirates, they can beat because I think both of these teams are highly erratic. I'll take the 1.5 with Monmouth. And I also think we'll see plenty of points. So, again, the series history's trended over. Monmouth's gone 5 or 6 straight games over the total. You're going to see pace on both sides. So, Monmouth plus 1.5, over 141.5.
You got it. Monmouth plus 1.5, over 141.5. The market is screaming that you're on the right track. Screaming that you're on the right track. I think I'm going to have to run with you on it, but God, it's just wild. Wild stuff here. Let's just go back to the cash again. Do we have the public on Hampton? And we do. 65% of the bets. Also on the money line, 57% of the bets, but the big bets coming in on Monmouth. Wow. Troy, I get it. I mean, Hampton's beaten them twice easily, but the market is just, why wouldn't Hampton be 3.5-point favorites here? Kenneth Vincent saying overs 5-0 Hawks last 5 games following a straight up loss. God, this is a wild one. I simply have to follow Bobano's breakdown in the market here. All right, I'm going to be joining you on Monmouth. Let's move on to 2 p.m. Eastern, Big South quarterfinal. Gardner-Webb running Bulldogs. What a wild finish to the season. You win 7 straight, then lose 4 straight. I don't believe this is the type of spot where you can flip the switch. I just don't. And this was a team that we were making a lot of money off of and then stopped. I lost a couple bets on them at the end of the year. And they're playing South Carolina upstate, and they are just faced each other on Saturday. That was the 4th straight loss for Gardner. 75-69 at South Carolina upstate on Saturday as 3-point favorites. They defeated UNC Upstate 78-66 at home back on January 25th. Let's take a look at the line history for this one, and then we'll take a look at the cash flow. Let's go. So Gardner-Webb, South Carolina Upstate. Let's go down to the bottom of the slate, and there it is. We have Gardner-Webb opening up as 4-point favorites at Pinnacle, a 3-cent move towards them. Then over at Bet Online, same thing, opened up at 4 minus 110. It did get to 3.5 initially, but back to 4. Totals wise, this opened up at 134. It's now at 135. And let's go take a look at the cash for this one. You have 47% of the tickets and 66% of the cash on Gardner-Webb. You have 23% of the tickets and 85% of cash on the under. 23 and 85, and yet it's gone up a point here. This is fascinating. Bobano, do you think that Gardner-Webb can flip a switch? Because they are a good basketball team, we thought. Take it away.
Well, they might be able to, and there are examples of teams that are able to, that just all of a sudden that they're awful in the regular season. I've seen teams that are like lost 7 in a row in the regular season. They start winning in the conference tournament, and they've even won the tournament, like from as a very bottom seed. It has happened at least a few times in my lifetime, the last 10 years or so. It can happen. And this was at one time a very good basketball team, but you're right. They've fallen on hard times right now. And I have been on many net profit shows and probably Saturday college basketball pub hub shows on this channel all season, talking about how much I always like backing South Carolina upstate as an underdog. They've been very, very good in the underdog role. So, yeah, maybe this is an opportunity for Webb to hit the reset button and get back on track. But, where's the evidence that that's going to happen? Now, the one thing that's interesting here is we just saw SC Upstate beat Gardner-Webb 75-69, and I was on South Carolina Upstate in that game. Oftentimes, or not often, but sometimes you see the losing team, they put more focus into making those adjustments, in the rematch. Maybe that's going to be the case here with Gardner-Webb, but their track record as a favorite is brutal. They've been absolutely terrible as favorites. Look at them laying points. I mean, other than Charleston Southern on the road February 1st, they have gone basically 0 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0 and 5 ATS laying points the last 5 opportunities. So I'm still going to land on Upstate here for an official play, plus 4.5, and the over here. I think the over, it's a little bit low given the series history with these two teams. We saw 75-69 in the last meeting, 78-66 in the first meeting. They both got into the 140s, so I was a little more than a little bit surprised this total's only at 134.5 at DraftKings right now. Let me just make sure that's still where it is. Let me just double check on that, because that is what I got. Sometimes we do see movement, and I'm seeing that one might have moved, but
there's still a 134.5 minus 110 at 5 dimes.
That's good.
But,
perfect.
But
yeah.
Bookmaker, we know Bookmaker's a sharp book, just moved it to 136.
All right, well, there you go, 134.5, which is good. That's the number I got at DraftKings earlier. So, yeah, over 134.5 minus 110. It's exactly what I bet earlier. And also South Carolina Upstate plus 4.5 minus 110 at let me just see that where that one was. Hold on one sec. But yeah, plus 4.5 minus 110 is what I got. Is that still out there, Jimmy? My screen is odd screen's not working properly right now.
Yeah, we got you 134.5 at minus 110. Big shout out to Sun Dizzle, now a member of Weeby Pub, and that is our headliner for our comedy show on Sunday night at the Southtown 101. And he has a very valid question. He says, does membership include a couple of these senior broads from San Antone? If you can prime away from DJ Big Boss, you're in business. But that, I can't answer that for you. I can't. It's not going to be easy. She looks ready to go. She does. I'm not sure about this one. Not sure about that one. But this one's ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get back to work. Thank you for rolling with us, Sun Dizzle. Bobano on USC Upstate.
Yep.
Plus 4.5 minus 110, and the over 134.5 at minus 110. There's BT in the house. All right, let's roll on. We go back to the MVC Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri, exactly where our Lucas Ryan was last night. Or yesterday, I should say. Indiana State Sycamores 21-11, 13-7 in conference. At Belmont Bruins 21-10, 14-6 in conference. This is going to be a fun one. 2 quality basketball teams going at it here. This one pops off at 3:30 p.m. Let's take a look and see what we are dealing with for line history. Line history wise, we have at Pinnacle Belmont opening up at +3. They're now +2.5. Half-point move towards them. Over at Bet Online, we have them opening up at +3.5. Now at +2.5. So a 1-point move towards Belmont from the opener. This opener didn't come out till 7:25 in the morning. Totals wise, this opened up at 154. Bet Online is now at 152. So it's dropped. And the only thing it's done is drop. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 63% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on Indiana State. Interesting that the books are just opening up their arms to more Indiana State spread bets. Total wise, 60% of tickets and 89% of cash is on the over. But we know Bet Online opened this up at 154. Shogun Soup saying Charleston Southern looking good early. Troy Torrance is on Indiana State first half -1. Says these teams who already played the conference tourney game just cover, and their efficiency metrics are legit. All right, let's take a look at this situation and hand it over to Bobano. Indiana State opened up their conference tournament by demolishing Evansville yesterday, 97-58, 17-point favorites. I don't like that personally. I'd much rather, it pained me that we weren't on Kennesaw State yesterday because we talked about winning that game by a point, getting fortunate, kind of takes the weight off your shoulders. They dominated the first half, and still covered the full game. But that first half was available. I don't like a demolishing that much. Belmont comes in off its second straight win, 83-75 at Northern Iowa. Sunday's 3.5-point favorites. Belmont barely got by Indiana State. 89-88 at home 10 days ago is 2.5-point favorites. Take it away for us here, Bobano. MVC quarters, Indiana State, Belmont.
A lot of points. And look, this is not typically a tournament. You always see points, but there's going to be points here, I think. Over 152 minus 120 in this one at Bet Online for this total. That's what I like. they just played on the weekend, actually. So this is a quick turnaround rematch here. These same two teams playing each other. Indiana State, they're one of the faster paced teams in this conference. We know Belmont, not exactly the same team in terms of pace, but certainly a team that can get up and down the basketball court, and they can shoot threes. And, that's always what's dangerous about Belmont. I don't think this Bruins team is as good offensively and as good overall as they've been in the past, but you look at what just happened. They had that game against Indiana State last weekend where Belmont ended up getting the victory, 89-88, went right down to the wire. Now Indiana State favored. I think Indiana State's favored for a reason. I think they're in a good situational spot here, revenge spot from the last meeting. It was close. I could see Indiana State, even though they're the team that played yesterday, Belmont rested, can win this game. But Belmont's got a track record of doing well in conference tournaments. Whether it was Rick Byrd or whether it was this current head coach, Casey Alexander, they've been very good, at least winning a few rounds and going deep into the conference tournament. Remember, this is their first Missouri Valley tournament. They've been in the OVC for years. So this is their first time in the Missouri Valley tournament. Just that historical success that Belmont has had in conference tournaments, and they're a dog now. I don't want to go against that, even though my initial gut said take Indiana State here in this game. So I'm going to stick to points. I think we see a lot of them over 152 minus 120 at Bet Online.
You got it locked in over 152.
This will be a fun basketball game. If you're going to tune into something this afternoon in the conference tournaments at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, take a look at this game.
Benjamin Mills says UNC Asheville not awake. So
they're not. Wow, I'm like they are just clank, 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 missing threes. Missing good looks. Pember hasn't made a shot yet. So, yeah, rough start for that's why these dogs that played yesterday, early in the game, they've got that mojo going. So this is the time to back teams like that.
Wow, I'm surprised they're not.
Just as long as we hit the over, I'm happy when that is, so they'll get going. I mean, Asheville will get going. I'm not concerned. They're a very good offensive team. Early start. Charleston Southern played yesterday. They didn't, so they'll get going. This will be Charleston Southern's not running away with this game. Asheville will battle back.
UNC Asheville still minus 3.5, minus 110 right there. All right. Bobano on the over, 152 at minus 120 in Indiana State, Belmont. Let's move on to 5 p.m. Eastern, the SoCon Championship first round. The Citadel Bulldogs, 10-21, 5-13 in conference at Mercer Bears, 13-18, 6-12 in conference. I shouldn't say at. I keep saying that. I got listed, but versus Mercer Bears. Harris Cherokee Center in Asheville, North Carolina. Let's see what we are dealing with here for a line history for this one. Another total that's been dropping, but let's go to the side. Side opened up Mercer -6. They're now -7 over at Pinnacle. Over at Bet Online, we have them opening up -6, now -7 as well. Now, it was at -6 at 7:30 this morning. Again, it came back and then back up to -7. Total-wise, it's opened up at 136. It's dropped to 134. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. No, we didn't do the Dayton game, Don Play, and we're not. We have our schedules up under the video description. 10 games. We have a huge NBA card that we're going to be breaking down in 20 minutes with DutchBoyFresh. So we got to the conference games that we thought would give us an edge here. On the spread, we have 79% of the tickets on Mercer and 49% of the cash. So there are some bigger bets on the Citadel Bulldogs, and yet market isn't moving with them. Total-wise, you have 36% of the tickets and 80% of the cash on the under. Seems like big, sharp bets are coming in on the under. By the way, Coin just put some UNC Asheville -1.5, -120 in his pocket. Citadel Mercer, we have another situation where these teams just faced each other on Saturday. Mercer handing the Citadel their third straight loss, 72-50 at home as 9-point favorites. Mercer snapped their 5-game losing streak in the process. They'd already won at Citadel 74-65 earlier in the year. Southern action here, first round action, Citadel Mercer. Bobano, take it away.
I like Citadel here. I really do. I think this is just, we beat the hell out of this team so much the last game that, and look, it's not like Mercer was playing great before that. They weren't. This was a struggling basketball team. Now that they're betting Mercer, like it's just they're going to be able to redo what they did in the last meeting, and I'm not entirely sure about that. Now, is the Citadel a little bit of has the Citadel got issues? Of course they do. They haven't been obviously that great this season. They're coming into this game having lost 3 in a row. They've got just 1 win in their last 10 games, but that 1 win was against Furman, one of the best teams in the conference. The Citadel. And the one thing about the Citadel is they've been known for shooting a lot of threes, making a lot of threes, but their offense has really, really hit the skids this year. It's not been the same offensive team. And defensively, they've had their share of issues, but I think in the last couple of games, you look at some of them, they were competitive here. The Samford game, they won it, they covered, they had the win against Furman, even the losses, Wofford, ETSU, they were right in those games. And the ETSU game, they were leading in the second half. They ended up losing by 80. They had a horrible game, obviously, at Mercer over the weekend. But are we ready to trust Mercer here, laying points of this magnitude? I'm not so sure. Let's not forget they were 6.5-point favorites against Western Carolina. They lost outright. 5-point favorites against ETSU. They failed to cover. They won, but only by 4 in overtime. I think you have to keep that in mind. And I want people to realize the one thing that the Citadel does very well that Mercer does not, because obviously we know Mercer's a better defensive team than the Citadel, and offensively they're probably a little bit better than the Citadel. They're not a great offensive team either, the Mercer, but they're probably a little bit better, certainly a little bit better defensively. But now you're asking them to lay 7.5, 8 here in this game. But the one thing the Citadel is pretty good at is free throw shooting. 33rd in the country, 76.2% from the free throw line. That's what you want in conference tournaments. And Mercer, on the flip side, they're actually one of the worst free throw shooting teams, 302 at 60 in the country at 68.3%. So free throw shooting matters, in these conference tournaments especially. So Mercer's taking money, not mine. I like the Citadel here, +8 DraftKings, -110.
An 8 on the board. Nice job. 8. -110. I like the fact that these two teams are playing once again at each other. I also like the stat with Mercer struggling at the foul line. It's with a favorite at this magnitude, the possibilities of them having a lead down the stretch are high. And if they're going to be struggling with their foul shots, I see sharp money on the under. Third time these teams are meeting, second time in a week. I'm going to take the under 134. That'll be my second spot here on the board. And it looks like another missed opportunity here. Citadel still at -3.5, but at -125. UNC Asheville at -3.5, -125. I think that -1.5, -120 was a great look coin. Excellent look. All right, let's move on. And Troy Torrance, Indiana State, first half -1 is the strongest look of the day so far for Troy. And Billy Friedrich also on that same spot. All right, let's move on. That was SoCon. Let's move over to the Big South quarterfinal. 6 p.m. Eastern. Campbell, 14-17, 8-10 in conference at Longwood, 2011, 12-6 in conference. We're in Charlotte for this one, and not at. I keep saying that. My bad. Let's take a look at the line history here for Campbell and Longwood. We have a move towards Longwood. They opened up -5.5. Pinnacle, they're now -6.5. Over at Bet Online, they open up at -5, also at 6.5 now. Total wise, opening up at 133, it's dropped down to 130.5, a 3-point drop in the total. Billy Friedrich added Longwood first half -3.5, put 2 units on that. There's razor sharp picks in the house. Man, I cannot wait for tomorrow, Razor. I'm itching for horses. And, of course, Razor Sharp Picks hosting the big Friday night live stream here at Pub Sports Radio in a big game, Grizzlies Nuggets. And that starts late, 9:45 p.m. Eastern. The game starts at 10 p.m. Pour yourself an adult beverage. Get to work with the squad. Here we go. Let's take a look at we just did the line history. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this Campbell spot. 21% of the tickets on Campbell and 38% of the cash. A market moving towards Longwood, but some bigger bets have been made on Campbell. Total-wise, big bets coming in on the under, 25% of the tickets, but 56% of the cash, and clearly the market concerned enough to drop it 3 points. Campbell opened up their conference tournament on Wednesday in a 68-63 win over Presbyterian as 6.5-point favorite. Shout out to the Colorado Bull, who gave us Presbyterian plus 6.5 as well, and they covered. That win snapped a 2-game losing streak for Campbell. Longwood had their modest 2-game winning streak snapped in that loss at home to UNC Asheville. They beat Campbell badly twice this year. Badly. 67-42 at Campbell, 74-50 at home. Take it away here for us, Bobano. Big South quarters, Campbell, Longwood.
Yeah, I think when you look at this matchup here, be careful, is what I have to say. Be careful with laying it with Longwood here. I know they destroyed Campbell the last couple of games, and maybe that's going to happen again here in this matchup. But you look at the meeting here with these two teams. I think it's a situation here where, Campbell down the stretch played some of their best basketball. It was a team that kind of struggled earlier in the conference season, started to get their game back on track. 10-4 ATS away from home this year. And of course, this is a neutral court for this tournament game. Let me just see where they're at here for this. But hold on here. Let me just see. Hold on. Where are we here? It's not a Campbell. It's down on the bottom of the board here. There we go. There we go. Bojangles Coliseum. Yeah, Big South. That's what I thought. Yeah, Bojangles Coliseum here, South Carolina. Yeah, so neutral court. They have a good track record away from them. I'm going to end up landing on Campbell here, honestly. They've been covering for me down the stretch. I did take them in the last game, but they failed to cover just barely. They were laying points in that game, but they still found a way to win in that matchup against Presbyterian. What I like about this Campbell squad is they can defend, they can guard. They gave up only fewer than 60 against Charleston Southern and Presbyterian, fewer than 70 their last two against Radford and Presbyterian. And when you look at the Longwood squad, they're a pretty good offensive team, but they have actually kind of declined a little bit in terms of their offensive game. They had the loss at Upstate. They lost to Asheville in their last game as favorites. And actually, if you look at their track record recently laying points, it hasn't been great for Longwood going into this game. I definitely think they're one of the best teams in this conference, but you look at them laying points, the track record hasn't been pretty. This team enters this game just 3-5, or actually 3-6 rather, ATS, their last 9 games as favorites. So that's not great. This looks to me like everyone is going to pile on Longwood because they destroyed this team. Maybe they will again. Maybe this is just one of those situations where Longwood matches up well with Campbell. There's nothing Campbell can do about it. But I want to point out something before you rush into that line of thinking. They played on December 31st and they played on February the 4th. Campbell really didn't get this run going until after that. And that's when they put this run together where, they've been a lot better. They've been a lot more competitive. I mean, you look at Campbell since that last meeting against Longwood, their losses were 4-point margin, 2-point margin, and 2-point margin. They have been right there in every single game. So I'm going to end up here on Campbell now with this line bumping up to where it is. It's upwards of 6.5. I think there was a 7 briefly. I don't think there is any more. No, there is not. So I will have to settle for 6.5, but I'm cool with doing that. Campbell plus 6.5, minus 102 at Pinnacle.
You got it. And there are 6s a lot on the board as well. So moving in that direction. Razor, I can't wait. I need it, man. I just need to have some fun and have some drinks and be a thoroughbred capper for a whole day and night so badly. I'm excited. Very, very excited about tomorrow. Campbell plus 6.5, minus 102 for Bobano. And I get it. I get this look. I get it. I'm interested in it. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on it, but I'm interested in it. If this keeps coming back, I mean, if it's straight 6s across the board, what did it open up again at Bet Online? Let me just let's just see this market movement once more here. So Bet365 has moved it to 6.5. So it got down. It was, it moved to 5.5. Well, it opened at Pinnacle 5.5 minus 108, but it was still there at 10:20 this morning. So it's just late money moving in. There's El Dorado Custodian back in action. What a guy. What a huge dono. Thank you so much, my man. We miss you, El Dorado Custodian. We have a huge weekend here at Pub. Thank you so much for looking after us and thinking about us. It means a ton to us. The El Dorado Custodian back in business. You're a good man. Thank you so much for supporting us, and that means a ton to us. What a guy. What a guy, El Dorado. I hope your picks are blessed this weekend and you get that cash. What a guy. Shout out to El Dorado Custodian back in business with us. All right, that concludes all games that are before 7 p.m. action. Before 7 p.m. action. So let's move on to the next spot on the board. There is talk in the chat right now about which books are giving you horse racing action. Because Quinimus is coming to us from South Africa. I'd like to, because it's changed up here in Canada now. You can't use horses right now. So with the offshores, the legal offshores, because we've made it legal here. So it's changed. So I'm not sure. I believe, though, Bet Online has a horse book. I'd have to go over that as well. Again, with MyBookie or Bet Online, if you are opening up a new account and you use the code PubSports at Bet Online, they'll match you up to $1,000, 100% match, and at MyBookie, a 50% match, again up to $1,000. So, but we'll hopefully figure that out. Marcus R says, hopefully the NHL picks go better than last night's. I had some big wins last night, Marcus. Senators plus 145 was a big win. The first period under in the Pittsburgh game plus 135. I was, after my first 6 bets, I was in the black, and I needed the Wild -1, which pushed, and then I lost the under to have me lose about 1/6 of a unit. So it wasn't great. But that's
I'm steering clear of Tampa for now in that sport. Tampa's not right at the moment.
Let's move on to 7 p.m. Eastern MVC tournament. Yeah, Grit and Grind. I don't know if you can use Twin Spires or TVG from South Africa. That's the question. MVC tournament quarterfinal. Murray State Racers 17-14, 11-9 in conference at Drake Bulldogs 24-7, 15-5 in conference. We're at the Enterprise Center, and I keep saying at, and I apologize. Verse Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. This is going to be a fun one. Murray State, Drake, 7 p.m. A big move towards Drake. Drake opening up at -9.5 at Pinnacle. It just moved to 11.5. That last move was about 45 minutes ago, a full point. Let's see what Bet Online has done here. Bet Online opened this up at -9. It's at -11 as well. They moved to -11 at 8:59 a.m. Totals wise, it's opened up at 142. It has dropped a point to 141. Take a look at the cash flow for this Murray State spot. Get over to Murray State. We have 45% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on Drake. Market moving towards Drake. You have 65% of tickets and 97% of cash on the under. Wow, that's a lot of money on the under. It did drop to 140, but there's been buyback. It's a lot of money on the under. Mike M saying Drake smashes here. Murray State opened up their conference tournament yesterday with their second straight win, 78-50 beatdown of Valpo as 1-point favorites. Drake had their 10-game winning streak snapped in the 73-61 loss at Bradley on Sunday as 3.5-point dogs. Drake has beaten up Murray State badly twice this year, 82-64 at home and then 92-68 at Murray State. Take it away for us here, Bobano, MVC action, Murray State, Drake.
Yeah, Murray State and Drake. There's another team that's known for having success, in conference tournaments in the past. In the OVC, can they have that success now in the MVC, that being Murray State? Good start. I mean, they whipped Valpo 78-50 last night. So even though this team's on a back-to-back, they had Kobe King play for 38 minutes. Other than that, nobody played more than 32 minutes last night. So they were able to pace the starters pretty well in the game last night, give them some rest down the stretch in a blowout game. That should serve them pretty well here against Drake, who are coming off a loss at Bradley to end the regular season. They had won and covered 5 straight before that. So we will see if they can bounce back from the loss they had against Bradley in their last game. Drake rolled through Murray State in the two meetings this year, 82-64, 92-68. Both of those games ended up going over the total. I mean, certainly Drake is the better team, should win, but you're talking about double digits in a conference tournament. There's one thing I don't do. It's lay double digits in a conference tournament. I have no interest doing that. I find in these tournament settings, you could get some results where you've got teams that sometimes, especially when you're facing a team that's had the experience of playing the day before in a building like this too, which is like a full-sized hockey arena. This is where the Blues play, Scott Trade Center, whatever they're calling it now, in St. Louis. So that could be an advantage to Murray early. Certainly if you like Murray State, maybe bet them early in this game in the first half. You could look in that direction. But I do like points in this game. I mean, both of the meetings went over the total at 82-64, 146 points in the first game. And we saw 170 points in the second meeting between these two teams. So actually it was, it was 160, I should say, in the second meeting. But both of them flew over the total. Murray State's been trending that way. Drake, not so much, but I think in this matchup here, you'll see them flex their muscles offensively. Keep in mind, before Valpo just couldn't make anything against Murray State. This was a team that was kind of leaky defensively. They had given up 83 to Bradley, 75 to Illinois State, 84 to Missouri State, and then 76 in the first meeting against Valpo. Yeah, they played better defensively last night. I don't know if that's going to continue Murray State here tonight. So, again, a few too many points for me to lay with Drake, but I am going to get involved here with the over here at 141 minus 110.
Over 141 at minus 110.
At Bet365.
For Bobano in MVC quarterfinal action. Let's move on to the OVC. We'll finish things out with Winthrop and Radford in the Big South, and then we have a huge NBA card and Dutch Boy Fresh joining us. So let's get to work. OVC semifinal. Southeast Missouri State Redhawks 17-6, 10-8 in conference. At Moorhead State Eagles 21-10, 14-4 in conference. We're at the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana. Take a look at the line history here for this one with Southeast and Moorhead going at it. This is a real fascinating spot, capping-wise. I can't wait to break it down. We have Moorhead State opening up as minus 2-point favorites. They've moved to minus 5-point favorites. So Pinnacle just opened this up at 8:10 in the morning. We have a 3-point move. That's big. Let's go over to the total. This total opened up at Pinnacle 143. It's dropped a 1.5 to 141, but it had dropped 3 points to 140. Let's go over to Bet Online and see if they have a similar big move. Total-wise, 143 to 141. Same thing. It had dropped to 140, but spread-wise, they opened up Moorhead as minus 1.5-point favorites. So huge move now, 4.5-point favorites for Moorhead State. Let's go over to the cash flow for this one. This game pops off at 8 p.m. And let's see what we are dealing with. Southeast Missouri, 14% of the tickets, 9% of the cash. Just now 11% of the cash. So some people believing this is Southeast Missouri maybe is too big of a dog at this point. Total-wise, 24% of the tickets are on the over and 33% of the cash is on the over. So some big bets are coming in now claiming it's gone too far. So that's the situation here. And the capping-wise, what makes this so fascinating is it's taken 2 games for Southeast Missouri to get here. So while Moorhead State hasn't played since last Saturday, they've been winning and winning and winning. They won at Southeast Missouri State by 6 back on the 11th of February. While Southeast Missouri's been grinding here, winning 84-65 and then winning 91-83 yesterday over Tennessee State. Moorhead's just been sitting back waiting. Take it away for us, Bobano, OVC semi, Southeast Missouri State, Moorhead State.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I see it too. Like SEMO, is one of those teams that, I give them credit for the way they played yesterday against Tennessee State, 91-83. They're lighting it up offensively. That's the one thing you got to give SEMO credit for. They can score. I mean, they're averaging 77 points per game. Not the greatest shooting team, but, they kind of play pressing style. try to speed the game up, and it really works out well for them. Is it going to work here against Moorhead State? That ends up being the question here. You're going to ask yourself. Moorhead State, pretty decent defensive team. And we know SEMO defensively, they have their issues. That's where things have really been problematic throughout the course of the season here for this Southeast Missouri State squad. The two meetings this year, it was actually a split of the season series. SEMO actually beat them 91-86 in January at Moorhead State. But then in the rematch at Southeast Missouri State, it was a 65-59 victory.
All right, we just lost Bobano.
Camera's messed up here, so I apologize for that.
No
I
worries.
think you can still hear me, though.
Yeah,
but
we can hear you.
nevertheless, so there we go. Audio only for now. But, yeah, I think in this matchup here, I don't trust Southeast Missouri State so much here on the back-to-back. Moorhead State's rolling. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal. Straight up in AT at 9-1 straight up. What are they? 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 games. That's not really a track record I want to go against right now with the way they're playing at the moment. They should win this game. And I do think the over's in play. I will make that one official. The total once again on the over here with these two teams. You look at where the number is right now in this game for this tournament game. It's down now to a place where I think you can get involved with over the total. I get why they're betting the under. I think that in the conference tournament games, especially involving a team that played the day before, you're going to see some interest in the under. But now we're at a point where this opened 143 and it's all the way down now to 139.5. And I think now it's at a playable number. So yeah, over 139.5, minus 110 at Bet365 for this one.
You are locked in, Bobano. Shout out to Colorado Bull. OG Lowbagger running hot, 4-0. And he's giving them all out here on the show. So 4-0 is Colorado Bull. Thank you for sharing your hard work. For us, Cheshire Cat says, got to take a break from Tempe Lightning. Wild. Gifted Cartel also saying, trash on the road. Moorhead State beat Tennessee Martin Lindenwood. Tennessee State, Tennessee Tech, SIU, Edwardsville covering the spread. Southeast Missouri played on the road and didn't cover one of those games. So that's from Gifted Cartel. Very confident. There's Justin McElvey and Jordy Nordman in the house. All right, let's go into our final spot here before we get into NBA action with Dutch Boy Fresh. 8 p.m. Eastern. Big South quarters. Winthrop Eagles 15-16, 10-8 in the Big South at Radford Highlanders. 18-13, 12-6 in the Big South. We're in Charlotte for all of these basketball games for the Big South Championship. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with line history-wise here, and then see what Bobano has to say about this one. Popping off at 8 p.m. Move down to the bottom, and here we go. We have Radford opening up as 1-point favorites at some offshores. Open up at 1.5 over at Pinnacle, now 2.5. Over at Bet Online, we have this opening up at -1. It was back, so it got to a pick'em when it first opened up. So it opened up at 2:37 p.m. yesterday. At 4:50, it was a pick'em. Then it quickly moved to -2, back to -1. It's just been all over the board here. Radford right now at -3. Totals wise, it's opened up at 142.5 and it's dropped 4.5 points down to 138. Let's see if the cash flow goes with that. And it doesn't. The public is on Radford, 71% of the tickets, but just 50% of the money. And then all the money and all the tickets are on the under. With 88% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on the under, and the floor has dropped down 4 points. This quarterfinal action between Winthrop and Radford, this is their first conference game. Winthrop has won 4 straight. Radford had lost 3 straight before they beat Campbell on Saturday, 67-65. But Winthrop coming in and running hot right now. But Radford the favorite here. Do you agree with that, Bobano? Take it away, our final college basketball game of the day, Winthrop, Radford. Yeah,
this is an interesting one because you have, as you mentioned, Winthrop's really playing good basketball right now. Which is interesting to see. It comes down, it's very interesting as well too. Back and it's probably going to be a very close game. They split, I believe, the season series. Radford won the first meeting, and actually Radford won both meetings, but the second game was very close. It was a 69-66 loss for Winthrop, so they were right there at the end of the day. I just wish I was getting a few more points That's the only concern. I mean, they look, Gardner Webb, Charleston, Southern, Campbell, High Point, this 4-game win streak for Winthrop. So we'll see how they fare here in this game. But as far as Radford goes, they enter this one after the win against Campbell. They had lost 3 in a row to Asheville, Longwood, and High Point. Like I said, I definitely was interested in Winthrop. I just don't know if +1's what I want to take them at here in this game, because I think it's definitely going to come down to the wire. Could see it going either way. You know, this is going to definitely be an interesting matchup from a pace perspective. Winthrop's going to want to push it. Radford's going to want to slow it down. Radford's offensive statistics look really poor. They've struggled to shoot the basketball. They haven't gotten to more than 67 points in their last 4 games, so they have really struggled offensively. So it's one of those where if you like Winthrop, you probably like the over. If you like Radford, you probably like the under. I lean Winthrop. I lean over in this game. But right now, not going to play either one.
Slow Jam saying this has been Winthrop's conference the last 2 seasons. They did not look good this year. The Eagles did not look good this year. That concludes our NCAA basketball breakdown. Don't forget, 5 p.m. today, Net Profits show. That show will be Dabby Cab and Connor Mack. And then Saturday, Bobano, Connor Mack, and Dabby Cab will be hosting NCAA Pub Hub. Our horse racing show comes on about halfway through that Pub Hub. And then don't forget, we have a huge UFC tomorrow night as well. Let's review Bobano's action. He's on the over 143.5 in Charleston, UNC Asheville. He's off of Northern Iowa Bradley. He's on Monmouth +1.5, -110, and the over 141.5. I'm joining him on Monmouth. He's on South Carolina Upstate +4.5 and the over 134.5 in Gardner Webb, South Carolina Upstate. He's on the over 152 at -120 in Indiana State Belmont. He's on Citadel +8. I'm moving on the under in the Citadel versus Mercer Bears showdown at the Cherokee Center. Bobano's on Campbell +6.5 at -102. He's on the over 141 in Murray State Drake, the over 139.5 in SEMO Moorhead, and we stayed off Winthrop Radford. And huge Friday next week here on the show in college basketball. Absolutely massive Friday next week. And then that will lead into the Sunday Selection Sunday. I mean, that's just right around the corner. And don't forget, we have our very own NCAA tourney that we're doing on our website, right? Directly on our website, $50 entry fee. And our guy, Jeff Slaughter, he wants all the cash for the winners. So only the top 3 are going to get paid, even if we have 100 people in. We want the winners to get paid enormous amounts of money. So that is our plan. So $50 entry fee. We'll give you all the information. We're going to put a video on it and all that. So that will be here. That's on our website at pubsportsradio.com. Spectacular work, Ian, my man. Any last words for the Capper Sport and Show?
Yeah, other than have a great weekend. Enjoy the games and good luck. Enjoy the NBA analysis with Dutch coming up. I'll be on the NBA Pub Hub, of course, later for my NBA thoughts, 4 p.m. Eastern with Ski Profit and Billy Briz. I'll be on the Pub Hub tomorrow with Connor and Dabby Cab, so looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to next Friday, because next Friday, Jimmy, we're going to have major conference tournament action. We're going to have Big Ten, SEC, ACC, wall-to-wall, the bigger Pac-12, all the bigger conferences get into the mix next Friday at this time. So there'll be plenty of great college hoops to break down next. And, of course, the week after is the big dance itself. So March is here, one of the best times of the year. Everybody, good luck. Enjoy the games and good luck. Have a good weekend.
There he is, Bobano. By the way, back-to-back shows where there's been gifts in the live betting market. UNC Asheville now -11.5. We handled that at -1.5. I could have got it at 3.5. Now -11.5 live betting with the squad. Benjamin Mills says Asheville pulling away. So excellent work there. All right, let's move on to NBA. And we have just the man for the job. We have a giant NBA card here on Friday. Huge NBA card. And shout out to El Dorado Custodian. You're a good man. Thank you for the dono. We love you, my guy. Please welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada, the freshest capper in our sports gambling industry. Please welcome Dutch Boy Fresh. Dutchy, what's good, my man? How are you?
Jimmy the motherfucking bag. Salute to you. All the real ones holding us down in Wi-Fi. You already know it's all love. Yo, the NBA is a hell of a drug. And you're looking at the plug. Yeah, man. How you been, Jim?
I have not been very good. Need to right the ship here. Very frustrated. There's Ray Hand, perfect timing. We have Sammy Culmer's action in. I guess I just got a little spoiled last year when we went on that massive run, and 10 straight winning months. I just got used to glory. I got used to glory, and I'm not feeling it right now, and I want to turn it around. So let's get to work, my man. This is a giant card. We've got time. We got great cappers in the chat. So let's fire off. You're getting a lot of love from the cappers in the chat. Let's get to work. 7 p.m. Eastern. Orlando Magic 26-37, 11-21 on the road. At Charlotte Hornets 20-44, 11-19 at home. We're at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Move over to the odds here for this one, popping off at 7. Orlando 2-3 over their past 5, playing at 100.4 possessions a game. Charlotte 4-1, playing at a pace of 103.7 possessions a game. But we all expect that to drastically change without LaMelo in the lineup, and they're coming off just 91 points on Wednesday night at home to the Suns. Let's take a look at the line history here. There's actually been, I think, slight movement back to Charlotte since I was looking at this morning. I guess not. Oh, yeah, I guess not. This opened up at Pinnacle at 3. It's now at 4 minus 109 for the. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so sorry, I take that back. So there has been moves since the morning. There's been about a 6-cent move to Charlotte at the number at 4. So Charlotte was down to minus 104. They're now minus 109 plus 4. And Orlando minus 4 as a road favorite is even money, minus 101, basically very low vig. This total opened up at 227, a drop to 224 and a half. I could have moved on it at 225 and a half. I knew that it was going to be hammered. I decided not to because I'm still a little caught up with the pace that Charlotte continues to play at, even though they're not hitting any buckets, and that will happen with 2 starters out of the lineup. Let's take a look at the line history here. The cash flow. 52% of the bets are on Orlando and 84% of the cash. Market moving towards them. Let's take a look at the total for this one. We have all the money coming in on the under. All of it. I figured that was the case. And I just, I didn't want to be sitting there with 99% of the money, 52% of the tickets, but all the big bets have come in on the under. Bet that with Jays on Mark Williams double at plus 132. I get that look. Magic coming off their second loss in 3 games, 139-117 in Milwaukee on Wednesday night. Magic defense is falling apart. They've allowed at least 120 in each of their last 3 games. And the Hornets have no LaMelo, no PJ Washington. Take it away here for us, Dutchy. Magic, Hornets.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Jay Peasy. If you didn't know, he's on the motherfucking intro. Good to see our guy, man. I miss Mr. Peasy. Little Domo. Appreciate the love, man. We on that double mints. Yeah, I like the Magic here, Jim. I do. I like the Magic here. And this is more based off of, I know you said some things in Charlotte, and it sounded pretty good, but LaMelo was out there, and they no more PJ Washington. I don't believe he'll play as well. I think you touched on that. I just think, man, this, they made a run against Phoenix in that second half the other night, but they're not the same basketball team offensively. I wasn't too high on Charlotte in the first place, but they did look like they were kind of turning the page a little bit. But I like this Magic, especially when we got 2 kind of like bums. To me, this is a certified. They're a little bit more certified. They're living in a little uptown, not downtown in the Bumville. I think the Magic get this done here. They played February 5th in Charlotte. Won outright as a 2-point dog, 119-113, dropped 119 on them. In that game, LaMelo had 33, 8, 6. All right, Plumlee had 10 and 9, and PJ dropped in 12 and 4. So you're missing all that. The Magic are actually more healthier than they were February 5th. You got the big Dookie going back home to Charlotte. He plays pretty comfortable there. I think the Magic, man, they're just I think they're just better than the Hornets, and I think they're going to put it on them, carry a little bit momentum, as well. The Magic are 6-0 ATS last 6 after a double-digit loss. So they're coming off a double-digit loss. A lot of people liked them against the Bucks. They got smacked around against Milwaukee. Everybody gets smacked around against Milwaukee. So coming in, they lose by double digits. They bounce back every time. I'm gonna go right with it. They're 5-2 ATS last 7 in Charlotte. I think they're deep on the bench with guards. I like me some Bobano, the big boy from Dookie and Banchero. And we talked about Bobo on the show plenty of times, but they got guards too, man. So I just think you got Cole Anthony going back to that area as well. They're all familiar with that area damn near. So give me the Magic, man. I locked it in at 3.5 last night. The best number. They're 14-6 ATS last 20 on the road. Not in a rush to bet an Orlando Magic team, but if we've done it this year, and as we've seen our guy Bobano, who was just on the show breaking it down, man, they're bet on. We've made a lot of money off the Orlando Magic if you back them. So as I mentioned, 14-6 the last 20 on the road, especially on the road. So give me the Magic full game here.
Alfred says, why the fuck is the line going to Charlotte again? I don't know, but we can give you that -3.5. -3.5, -111 right now at Pinnacle.
Yeah, lock it in, man. You know that shit don't scare me, but I'm not gonna lie. I think both of the games that I'm very high on today, both have the lines have moved the other way. I don't give a fuck. That shit don't scare me. And the other game, maybe not. I have 3 plays today, so we'll see. But the game towards the end is moved against me as well. So I think it kind of went back up now that I'm looking at it, Jim. But yeah, we'll get to it. But yeah, the money, all that shit don't really scare me. I cap what I cap, and I go from there. Sometimes it might make me stay off a game. I'm never going to switch my play, but very rarely will it even allow me to stay off the game.
I feel you. We're in business here. You are locked in. Magic -3.5 and -111. Let's move on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Portland Trailblazers 29-33, 12-18 on the road at Atlanta Hawks 31-31, 17-13 at home. We're at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Take a look at the line history in this one. We have Atlanta opening up at -6.5. They got up to -8. They're now -7.5. Total wise, this opened up at 239. It's gone up 2.5 points to 241.5. By the way, Saturated says Banchero 31 of 31 from 3 in February. Says if you can find that under a half 3. Says it is good money. Dan Kelly has come in. Atlanta team total under 124. Second quarter Portland +1.5. Fourth quarter Portland +1.5. Fourth quarter Portland Atlanta under 58.5. Wow, big moves.
DK, man, shout out to our guy DK.
Ooh, those are big moves from Dan Kelly. 4 spots attacking this game.
It's hard. He's DK's so sharp, Jim. It's hard for. I mean, some of his action is just even hard for me to read. It's just, it's like I'm like, wait, what is that shit? Like, I gotta double look at that shit.
Yeah, we're thankful to cap with them. Also, I don't want to talk about. It's bad luck for me. Whatever. I'm learning golf betting as now, but don't talk about what happened after the first round. But he's given us a beauty in golf and. We won't talk about it, but we'll give him a big shout out. Dan Kelly moving on this game in 4 different ways. We're in State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Portland 1-4 over their past 5, playing at a pace of 98.3 possessions a game. Atlanta 2-3, playing at a pace at 102.60 possessions a game. You have 63% of the tickets on Portland and 73% of the cash on them. That we've seen the very first sign that the market will move back in their direction just recently. Once it got up to 8, dropped to 7.5. 63% of the tickets on the under and 83% of the cash on that under. 63 and 83 on the under. And we've seen this total go up to 241.5. So the market's just welcoming under action. Atlanta team total under 124 for Dan. Start with Portland, lost 4 of its last 5, 6 of its last 9. This is the beginning of a 6-game road trip. I mean, their whole season is on the line right now. And I don't trust the character and the heart of this basketball team. They're coming off their second straight loss, 121-110 at home to the Pelicans on Wednesday. I'm still beating myself up for not being on that Pelican spot. That was a big loss because they're now a game and a half behind the Pelicans for the play-in spot. Anthony Simons comes back and then hurts his ankle again. He's a game-time decision at this point. I don't know if anybody else has interested in it. Rayhan says, love Atlanta money line and parlays, but can't lay the 7. Mike M says, Portland getting 7, thinking they could even win outright. I get it, but if there's all this money on Portland, why is it up this way? DJ 100 grand. Great to see you, DJ 100 grand on Portland plus 7.5. Hawks had their 2-game winning streak snapped, a 119-116 loss at home to the Wizards on Tuesday night. Trey went for 31. And this is the final game of a 4-game homestand for the Hawks. The second game with Quinn Snyder at the helm. Take it away for us, Dutch. Portland, Atlanta.
Yeah, excuse me. Shout out to our guy Rayhan. I'm right with him, man. I like Atlanta here, but I can't lay a touchdown with him, man. They and then they got Quinn Snyder coming in. I was feeling we talked about it. They smacked him, I believe, last week on Friday. We talked about the first game back. We were on Atlanta. A lot of love for Cleveland in that game. But I like the Mo of coming in with the new head coach. No, now they got 2 new coaches. Now it's different. So Trae Young did miss. Or did actually, he did go through shoot around. He's questionable. I believe he'll play. These 2 teams play January 30th and in P-Town and without Trae Young and Portland beat them, 129-125. But now Portland ain't got no Nurkic down low. Portland is awfully small. They tiny, bro. Outside of Dame time, it's not really too much going on over there. Jeremy Grant will get you his, but no Nurkic. I mean, these boys are too small. I mean, they really are. Eventually, they're going to die down. So, I guess, people like Atlanta early. Portland is 2-11 ATS, last 13 on the road. So I would tend to lean full game here. I think Portland will die down eventually. They're light on the bench and they do not have the bigs. So eventually that shit will just set in. Capella and these boys will hit the boards on them. I think Murray will have a big game tonight as well. They're going to have trouble with an athletic, bigger guard like that with Damon and Simon. So, yeah, I like Atlanta here, Jim. Not in a hurry to rush to lay 7. I think last time I was, last time I was on Atlanta actually against Brooklyn, I laid the 5. I was very confident in that bet. They won by 2. We're up by 17 in that game. So these are 2 teams that you cannot get comfortable with leads at any point. Portland has shown that very, in the past 2 games, up 17 against the Warriors, lose outright. And then, of course, Atlanta up huge against DC at the crib and lose outright in Quinn Snyder's first game. I believe they're up 17 in third quarter. So not in a hurry to rush to lay to 7, but I can't back Portland here. I think Atlanta's spot, somewhat of a revenge game, obviously back at the crib. If you can find a way to bet Atlanta, yeah, but man, I can't lay the touchdown.
Yeah, maybe it'll have to be a live betting situation. Joe Gervich saying Simon's doubtful. I was surprised that he was even said that he was a game time decision here. We have 4 looks from Dan Kelly and none here from either of us.
I want to be on Atlanta. I really do. It's kind of recent bias. They say you lose a bet, you lose a good bet it again. I kind of feel that way right here, to be quite honest with you. But I don't like that Trae Young's a little hobbled. They are a defensively better team when he's not out there, but you need him out there distributing the ball. Yeah, man. Rayhan was spot on pretty much. They're gonna win this game, but are they gonna win it by 7?
Yeah, no, I feel it. So let's roll on. Next up for us, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Brooklyn Nets 34-28, 16-16 on the road at the Boston Celtics, 45-18, 25-7 at home. We're at TD Garden, Boston. Brooklyn 1-4 over their past 5, playing at a pace of 101.2 possessions a game. Boston 4-1, playing at a pace of 95.31 possessions a game. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on this spot because our Sunday night live is Knicks at Celtics, and we're going to see if the Celtics have an answer for the New York Knicks. I'm very, very excited about that. The show starts at 7 p.m. The game starts at 7:30 p.m. And then our second game that we're live betting comes in an hour and a half in, I guess, 2 hours in, is the Kraken at Colorado Avalanche. So we got a big night, Sunday night, on our second episode of Sunday Night Live. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Boston opening up at -10.5, now -11. Total wise, this opened up at 226.5. It's gone up a point to 227.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 80% of the tickets on Boston, 76% of the cash, 88% of the tickets, and 89% of the cash on the over. It's gone up a point. Joe Yurkovich says, I can't play the Hawks under. I've just been in this situation before where the total didn't make sense in the Hawks game, and it still flies over. Brooklyn comes in off their 4 straight loss, 142-118 at the Knicks on Wednesday. 81 points Brooklyn allowed in the first half. They're just showing no heart whatsoever right now, even though they did initially after the trade. Brooklyn has lost 6 of 7. They've won 7 of their last 25. That 81 points they allowed was the most they've ever allowed in one half. They've given up at least 30 points in 12 of 16 quarters. No Ben Simmons return. Not that would matter. Celtics bounce back from their 109-94. Maybe it would help for the total.
It would definitely help for the points.
Yeah.
He's gonna dribble the ball, not shoot it, and he does play a little bit of defense when he wants to.
Joe Yurkovich, the Nets pace over their last 5, 101.2 possessions a game, 6 possessions a game faster than the Boston Celtics, whose pace has really slowed down. Celtics come off that 109-94 loss at the Knicks on Monday, and they did it by beating the Cavs 117-113. The Cavs had all the sharp money on them, and I couldn't understand why. I was like, why? You mean Boston's not going to smash back? And then Boston up by, 20 in the third quarter, and the Cavs still cover. I couldn't believe my eyes. I really couldn't. Tatum went for 41, 11, and 8. Viper says Celtics team total over. I've been smashing any team playing the Nets team total over. They're playing no defense. The only thing there, Viper, is should you focus in on the first half? Because what's going to happen in the second half if the Celtics are up by 20 and they know that they got the Knicks on deck? Take it away for can you believe that we're talking about the Knicks like that? But look, that's the situation, man. And you hear them talking about the Knicks too. They're like, we got a team full of leaders. We got all this. I'm like, what? Really?
You know what? A couple things to touch on that, just to follow up on the Knicks. You know what happened is they've allowed Jalen Brunson to be the best player on the team. All right, that number. Obviously, the trade with Josh Hart has helped, but I've said it from the get-go. Julius Randle is going to be the difference maker. He's going to put them over the top. But Jalen Brunson has to be the guy on that team. He's the best player on that team. So once they realize that. And Juice plays into that role, and Julius plays great basketball at his role, then man, the Knicks are nice. But come Sunday, hey, it's leprechauns, bro, all fucking day long. So when you see that line, jump on it because it's gonna go up. It's gonna be the Celtics. The Celtics healthy. Remember, JB didn't play in that game. When the Celtics are fully healthy, they're on another level than the fucking Knicks. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. They are fully healthy. They will smack around the fucking Knickerbockers, especially at the crib. But yeah, man, back to this one. It's the same fucking thing, man. They beat these boys 10 straight times. It's big brother, little brother type shit when it comes to Boston and Brooklyn. So I honestly think Boston's gonna do it again. Like I've talked about many times on NBA Pub Hub. This Brooklyn team they got some nice little roster pieces. This ain't a team though. It's not a team. It's Brooklyn. They literally have all new pieces. They don't have a fucking point guard to keep these guys accountable. I mean, Spencer Dinwiddie is all about him, and he's nice, but he ain't looking to get anybody else involved. He's looking to get hot. And you got a bunch of streaky ass shooters over there outside of Mikal Bridges, and man, the surprising part is they're not playing defense because you got some guys. You got a lot of Mikal Bridges. You got Lank, DFS. You got guys that should be able to play to at least show up and play defense. But that's coming from an effort standpoint. So it's Boston and nothing here, Jim. I haven't laid anything, to be quite honest with you. But I do think, first, I'm not mad. I see a lot of love for Boston. I think DK likes Boston first half -6. I mean, shit, I might have to get there. I might have to tell that because I didn't bet this game, but I don't see why that wouldn't hit.
Same here. I don't see why it wouldn't hit. Because we've been waiting for Brooklyn to show heart, and they haven't done it.
Yeah,
So let's just not sit back and expect it. Saturate looking at the Boston first half team total over. Their pace is still very slow. Not that I don't like it, but it's a really slow pace. I think I prefer them just to dominate the basketball game, dominate the first half. I like that look, Dan. I think it makes sense. It's available for me, -6 and -115 too. 5 cents for that, to, keep that hook off. I get it. Saturate says at home they score more. That's valid. I don't dislike the team total over. I just, but I like that. Celtics -6 first half. I like that look, Dan. I expect to join you on that, and I can't wait for Sunday night. Dutch, I'd love it if you could pop on for that basketball game. No pressure at all if you're playing poker or anything on Sunday night. But man, if you got any free time, man, it would be awesome to spend the night with you, man. And what a chance, Celtics Knicks! What a game that's going to be. I can't fucking wait. All right, we move.
Not to cut you off, Jim, but I did just go 5. I've been feeling these Sundays. I went 5-1 on my previous Sunday, so I've been locked in on these Sundays, NBA mode. So might not fucking come through and vibe out with you and the crew.
That'd be fucking dope, man. We got a great group for this week's show as well. Okay, let's roll on. Next up for us, the Knicks, whom we've been speaking about. By the way, Dan Kelly said the Knicks get out to a first quarter lead. I will jump on Celtics live bet. All right, let's move on to Knicks Heat Miami-Dade Arena in Miami, Florida. And the Heat just continually underwhelm. Knicks are rolling. 7 straight wins. They, over their last 5, playing the pace 100.3 possessions a game. Miami 1-4 over their past 5, playing 96.9 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for the Knicks. Feeling good about themselves. The Knicks opened up here as -2.5 at Pinnacle. This didn't open up till 7 in the morning at Pinnacle. They're now -3.5. It's just been moving towards them since the opener. Mm-hmm. Go to the total here. This total opened up at 216. It's dropped a half point to 215.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We've already heard from Astute Chaos. He's on the first half over 111.5. 111.5. Astute, there it is right there. He just popped it into the chat. Let's see what we are dealing with cash-wise for this one. Here, sorry, let me move over. Here we go. We have 46% of the tickets and 86% of the cash on the Knicks. This Knicks train, big bets coming in on them. Expectation for them just to keep rolling. Here, we don't have a money amount. All we know is 71% of the tickets are on the over, but it's dropped a half point. Knicks are 7-0 since picking up Josh Hart. Dutch already touched on it. He just does everything. It's not even that. It's that Brunson and him played at Villanova together, so he's a perfect fit in this locker room. He had 4 points, 4 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals off the bench. He's just actually shit. Sorry, those are the numbers that he had against. No, I'm sorry. I thought that was in the last game over Brooklyn. Those are the numbers that he had against the Knicks the last time they played against each other. But look at Brunson. Just voted the player of the month. Put up 39 points, 30 in the first half. He was 15 of 18, 5 of 6 from 3. Just absolutely rolling right now. 23.8 points per game, 6.2 assists, 41% from 3. Randall, 25 points a game, 10.5 rebounds. They're just rolling. He coming off their 5th loss in 6 games, 119-96 at home to the Sixers on Wednesday without Joel Embiid, without going up against Embiid. Butler left the game with a sore right knee. Kyle Lowry's missed 10 straight games. He'd be off the team, if Pat Riley, wasn't a what do you call what's a polite thing to call him? A centurion? I don't know what to call him politely. Miami did bring in Kevin Love and Cody Zeller, which I like, but doesn't seem to be working out yet. Will it start now? Take it away from us here, Dutch. Knicks Heat.
Yeah, I was watching these boys play there today. I was thinking, damn, Miami, South Beach, they got Kevin Love and Zeller out there. Just look funny out there, But yeah, man, I think I I don't like to see, our people lose money, man. But I can't lie. I like to hear all this Knicks love. I really do. I really do, because I like Miami here. I think it's a spot. It's a Miami spot clearly here. They do have Atlanta on deck is the only thing I really don't like. Jimmy Butler questionable. I believe he plays. They lost to these boys in a close battle, 106-104, February 2nd in New York. Big Bam did his thing. He was playing Bam Adebayo basketball, 32-9. Really, they don't got much for Bam. I think if Jimmy brings his and at least Hero and these boys can knock down open perimeter shots with Strus and the crew, I think they handle business at the house. Not only that, New York won last time they were in Miami. So come on, man. These boys do not like each other. This shit goes way back. So not only did they just recently lose to them the last time New York came to South Beach, they beat these boys outright as a 9.5 point favorite. Miami lost that game. So prior to that, Miami had won 5 straight meetings to these boys. Coming off a loss, a smackdown, an embarrassing loss, Embiid goes out. Embiid doesn't play, and they lose by 23. Come on, man. This is a well-coached basketball team, a leader in Jimmy Butler. You got the talent to compete. They almost beat, them the other, February 2nd in New York when, Jimmy Butler had fucking a subpar game. I believe only 10 points. As I mentioned, Bam was the only player really who had a good game. I believe at the crib you get a better, addition from the role players. It's MIA at the house, man. I like the Heatles. It's Heatles tonight, man. It's Heatles tonight. Give me full game. And the thing is here, Jim, I'm going to make something official because for show purposes. But this is one game I haven't bet because I liked it at 2.5, and then it's just creeping up as I've watched it this morning as I've been up. So there's no rush to bet this game. But 3.5 is good money, as I see if I believe it's out there now. So I think the Heat will win this game, but I'm going to take the points.
Plus 3.5 available right now, minus 105 at Pinnacle. Dan Kelly looking at first quarter Knicks -2, selling points at Heritage to get a plus 122.
All this love on the Knicks. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, he's just focusing. He's just focusing on the early side of the game.
I like it. The trends. Hey, if you've been backing the Knicks overall, you've been winning money. But first half is, first quarter. I don't know as much into the numbers first quarter, but first half, absolutely. It's damn near an auto bet with the Knicks. But I think Miami comes out pissed the fuck off. I'm not gonna lie to you tonight.
Interesting that Astute Chaos is on the over. I had interest in the under, and I had interest on the Knicks and touched on the Heat, and that's fine. I'm not seeing things clearly.
That's my point, though, Jim. My bad, bro, but I don't think nobody's gonna bet the Heat tonight. I honestly think everyone's just gonna damn near auto bet the Knicks, and it's the NBA, man. And Miami got talent, man. They play when they want to. They'll play tonight.
All eyes will be on them. So I get it. All right. Very, very fascinating situation there. Dutch taking a stand. The Heat plus 3.5. Not betting it yet. Why would he? Market moving in that direction.
Contained. My bad. It's contained Brunson. Contained Brunson, man. Don't let him go for let him get 25. Not 35.
Res Mob said, "I've never seen anyone drop off a cliff so fast." And Kyle Lowry, yeah. It's been sad to watch. Is either pretty simple life here in Toronto. Go down to South Beach. I won't make any. But I don't like seeing them. I got a picture of Ella in her DeRozan jersey and her cousin Ali in his Lowry jersey, and it's just the back of them, and they're pointing at something. It's just such a dope picture. It sucks watching Lowry just being no-show. J-Dub says Kyle Lowry loves to eat, and you don't need to explain what he's eating either. We all know. Let's move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. Phoenix Suns, 34-29, 13-19 on the road at the Chicago Bulls, 29-34, 18-13 at home. United Center in Chicago, Illinois. God, it's been too long since I've been down there. I was at the Sweet 16 Elite 8 in 2016. I missed Chi-Town.
You go to Chicago, I'm coming, man. I haven't been there. And I'm well overdue.
Oh, it's a great city, man. It's
I'll link up.
Phoenix 3-2 over their past 5, playing at pace 98.7 possessions a game. Chicago 3-2, also playing at pace of 95.3 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Suns Bulls. We have the Bulls opening up as 5.5 point dogs, 3.5 now. 2-point move towards the Chicago Bulls against KD. The question is, and people have been asking this all day, is KD even going to be out there on the floor? Total opening up at 222.5, now at 223. Take a look at the cash flow here for this one. You have 87% of tickets on the Suns and a 2-point move towards the Bulls. So 13% of tickets and 45% of the cash. Do you think that there's inside information that KD will not be playing here? That's sort of screaming that to me. This total opened up at 222. That's some books. Let's see where it is right now. This total opened up at 222.5 at Pinnacle, now at 223, up a half point. But cash-wise here, we have 29% of the tickets on the under and 52% of the cash. But there's been no sign from the books of any concern. None here. Alfred says the Suns game is either my favorite or least favorite bet of the day. Someone out that I'm missing. Sweaty Butcher says Suns 1-6 against the spread is a road favorite off of a win. Wine Time says I'm all over the Chicago Bulls +5. Suns still need time to click together. And Joe Yurkovich says I'm on the under. I'm waiting for the best number. Lucky Power, respect. Thank you. I hope that this helps you get through a day of work, man. Almost a weekend, my guy. Shout out to Lucky Power here. All right, Suns open up the KD era with a comfortable 105-91 win at Charlotte. Booker went off 37, 7, and 6. KD went for 23, hit 10 of 15 from the field. Was on a minutes restriction, and it feels like they could be resting KD for the game Sunday in Dallas against Kyrie. Ayton went for 16 and 16. Bulls coming off their third win in 4 games, 117, 115 at Detroit on Wednesday. I was on them first quarter. They pushed that. The guys on the show with me, Brizzy and Durrell, got in at 1.5, juiced at minus 122. I took the 2. I pushed it. It was very upsetting. They were up 5 or 6 with like a minute left, and of course they push, and then they comfortably won the half. They were way ahead, and of course there was sharp money on the Pistons, and the Pistons end up covering. Saturated says Suns will smash the Bulls with or without KD. Says I don't know what people think the Bulls have for them. I can't wait to hear Dutch's breakdown. Take it away. First off, do you think KD will be on the floor, Suns Bulls?
Yeah, man. KD love basketball, and it's not a back-to-back situation. Yeah, they play Dallas on Sunday. These boys gotta get as many games in as possible, in my opinion, to click. I mean, the playoffs will be here soon enough, and KD is easy to play with, but I mean, you gotta get games in. I don't know why he was sit, to be honest with you. So the number, I agree with what you said, Jim. It's screaming that, that he might not be out there, but man, I don't understand, but I can't really play the guessing game with this. So I'll tell you right now, if KD's out there, they're going to smack Chicago. That's just what they've done. The 5.5 was a little appealing to me when I looked at it. I was like, okay, maybe Chicago could make it a game. I was trying to make a case for Chicago because here's another, it's big brother, little brother shit, bro. Really, they beat these boys 6 straight times. Most recently, November 30th in Phoenix, dropped 132 on them without KD, 19-point win. And the Bulls, man, I don't know. Patrick Beverley gave him a little bit of juice, but they're not on the level of the Phoenix Suns. So I'm telling you right now, if KD's out there, it makes this game so much easier for everybody else. He's great, but it's just so much easier for Book. We're going to all see how we know Devin Booker is a ball player, but I mean, it's going to be so much easier for this guy. So much easier. With CP3 controlling the shit, man. It's going to be a problem. So I think that, if KD plays, and as I touched on it, they need games. I believe he will play. But would I be shocked if he doesn't? Not in today's NBA, to be quite honest with you. But one thing I know is KD loves basketball. He's not like a lot of rest of these guys. If he's healthy, he's playing basketball. So to me, I don't see why he would sit. And Man, it's Suns, man. It's Suns. DA is gonna be a problem for Vooch. Last time they played, he dropped 30 on these motherfuckers. This shit only makes it way more easier for DA. That's what it's. If they stay healthy, it's over, man. The Suns are winning this shit because KD and it's gonna make DA and Book just so much better because KD is that great, and you know what you're gonna get out of him. And there's not many point guards in this league, and I'm not that big on CP3, but he's a true point guard. He's gonna hold people accountable and they're going to play their roles. And Phoenix Suns are definitely going to be winning some basketball games and covering a lot of basketball spreads, I think.
If you were going to move on the Suns, do you just feel with KD it's best to wait? I mean, move on the Suns to win it all, to wait until the first game of the playoffs, because you just need to know that KD is going to be healthy. I mean,
yeah, it's I'm looking at it. So it's plus 500. I think. I think the Bucks, as I mentioned on PubHub two couple days ago, plus 500 for Milwaukee and plus 500 for Phoenix will be it. But Phoenix will be, it's tough to do that because of the health issues. Because if KD goes down, I mean, he's just now coming back too. We're talking about him maybe not even playing tonight in his first game back from injury, and he's been injury prone, unfortunately. So yeah, that's a little bit harder, bullet to fire with the question marks.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I watched the Raptors win a championship because Bambi's legs broke.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tough.
And
it's
I'm
tough.
not. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
No, it's hard. It's just tough to want to put money on a futures bet when it can just change in one quick step. I mean, I know that feeling of watching a future bet go down the drain because of an injury, and but I mean, He's got so much to play for. I mean, he's taken so much heat. But yeah.
And say what you will about that little motherfucker CP3. I don't really like him, but he's done so much for the NBA. He's in the top of the fucking NBA league shit. He's gonna get one before it's all said and done. And KD, man, he's great. So if he stays healthy, Book is probably I would say he's the most reliable best player KD's played with. Because Kyrie is gifted as fuck, but he ain't. I don't think he's bought into basketball like Devin Booker is.
Saturated says, "What did the Bulls gain by winning this game? They have more important games down the road." I mean, the Bulls aren't. I mean, I guess they're going to get Brooklyn's spot in the play-in, so I guess it's available. But they need to win games. The under just makes so much sense here. So much sense. Look how slow the Bulls are playing. I feel like I need to move on it. I hate that it's gone up a half point. I mean, why would it have gone up a half point? I mean, just has every book. Let me just make sure that every book. Let me not just focus on Pinnacle. But although Pinnacle's so sharp, Bet Online's moved it up a half point, but it got up to 223.5. It got up to 224.5. Wow, I didn't realize that. It was at 224.5. At 8:33 in the morning. It's confusing that it would have gone up here. I'm interested in the under. All right, well, let's move on to the next spot on the board. 8 p.m. Eastern, Utah Jazz 31-32, 11-19 on the road at Oklahoma City Thunder, 28-34, 17-15 at home at Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Fat Cat Ninja in the house. What up, Ninja? Utah 3-2 over the past 5, playing at the pace of 101.88 possessions a game. OKC 0-5 over the past 5, playing at the pace of 101.19 possessions a game. I mean, if it's not for Josh Giddey, I don't know how anybody watches the Thunder without Shea out there right now. It's just not fun. I enjoy watching Giddey, though. It's just that he's so slow and so talented. It's a funny combination. Let's see what we're dealing with here. We have get to the line history for this spot. Sorry, I have the cash up there. I'm very curious about the cash in this one. But here we have OKC opening up at +1. They're now -1. That move makes sense to me. It's not as big as a move as you would think. If we go to the money line, they've gone from +102 to -113. It had been a big move, though. At 10:53, they were at -119. So there has been some buyback. Totals-wise, it's opened up at 233.5. It's dropped to 232. I understand moving on unders without Clarkson out there. 43% of the tickets are on the under and 69% of the cash. I cashed that under so easily with the Spurs Jazz. I feel like going right back to the well. We don't have a money count here for some reason, but 65% of the tickets are on Oklahoma City. So let's see. Let's just set a quick table here for Dutch. Jazz coming off having their modest 2-game winning streak snapped in a 102-94 loss at home to the Spurs on Tuesday. So Utah is just spilling the ball all over the court. They've had 19.5 turnovers per game over the past 4. Colin Sexton's missed the last 3 games with a hamstring strain. Jordan Clarkson sat out Tuesday's game with a right thumb sprain. It's unclear if Clarkson will be back.
He's out.
He's out, okay, because he did participate for part of Thursday's practice. Thunder coming off their 5th straight loss, 123-117 at home to the Lakers on Wednesday. Giddey, 17 points, 11 assists, 9 boards. Anytime that happens, I imagine Spenny Pennybombs losing his shit. I have this image of him just screaming around in his apartment, just screaming. Anytime a player misses a triple-double by one, I miss my man Spenny. Spenny going to be rolling with us in the horse race show tomorrow. So Shea out for the 5th straight game, and Kenrick Williams out for the year. And Kenrick Williams has been very good. The Thunder outscore opponents by 4 points per 100 possessions with Williams on the floor, and they're 0.7 without him on the floor. And he leads the league in charges drawn. So it's a big loss for him, a loss that I respect, especially against the Jazz with their, I don't want to call them Twin Towers. I'm not going to. But they do have a couple 7-foot centers. 7-foot bigs that can do some damage, even though they're, they could be whittled down easily. Take it away here for us, Dutch Jazz Thunder.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy, Flesh Allen. I see you, my man. Joe Jurkovic said it though. This is a backwood, bro. They do pay each other again in OKC in the cup. I believe tomorrow, the next day. He said that as well. So pretty much. The only thing I could say is Utah did just lose to San Antonio, bro. At the crib, but San Antonio don't beat nobody. They've won one in the last fucking 2 months. So if you're ever gonna get a team show up, maybe they show up early here. You would think Utah, but yeah, I don't like this game at all.
Yeah,
but, without Clarkson, without Sexton, I mean, Markin, I guess props.
Can we trust OKC to stop this? I mean, Jazz look awful without Sexton and without Clarkson. I mean, they lose that any scoring from the guards spot. It feels like you just without Kenrick Williams, you just don't have faith in the Thunder to take care of business, and you think this is an angry Jazz squad after being embarrassed.
Exactly. I don't have faith in OKC without Shea. Is pretty much what comes down to it. And they have been playing very well since the start of the second half. And yeah, Utah just lost to a team that is the worst thing in basketball. They're trying to lose basketball games.
Saturated calls this the backwood of backwoods. Joe Yurkovich says, wait to see who wins this game, then bet the other team on the rematch on Sunday. And Fanatical Jim telling us, this is all I needed to hear about not betting the Ducks, but Kulikov is scratched. We knew we didn't. I was wanting to wait till 4 p.m. to see if he was traded, but he has been traded to the Penguins. All right, let's move on here. I still feel like the under is in play. I know that you want to stay off the spot, but I just feel like this under is in play. Let me just take one last look at the line history. These unders have been just killing me, but I feel like it's in play here, dropping. I'm interested in it. I'm interested in it. So under in this one here. All right, let's move on. Yo-Yo Mendes says they got Shea's all-star spot, 55 games played for statistical leaders. All right, let's roll on to the next spot on the board, 10 p.m. Eastern. And this is our live bet stream tonight here, 9:45 p.m. It pops off, and it's a big one. We were wondering if this was too late of a start, but we were like, we got to have this game as a live bet stream tonight. Dabby Cab and DutchBoyFresh will be hosting this one.
Wait, no, Razor Sharp Picks. I won't be.
Sorry, did I say your name?
It's back to the set, man. It's Razor Sharp.
Sorry. Oh, and Dan moved on to Utah Team Total Under. Sorry. It is my bad. I meant to say Razor Sharp Pick. Sorry. Lack of sleep, anger. I'm full of blind rage right now. But this game coincides with the LJ from H-Town Trill OG play of the day. He's on Denver -5.5. Shout out to LJ from H-Town. He'll be rolling with me on Sunday night for the live bet stream. Let's take a look and see what we are dealing with here for this one. Memphis, Denver. This opened up at 5.5. It's not there. Memphis is now 5-point dogs, but they were even 4.5-point dogs. So the immediate movement was towards the Memphis Grizzlies, and it's come back a bit. Total wise, it's opened up at 232.5. It's now at 233. Let's take a look at the cash. I'm very interested in the cash in this one. The cash is the Nuggets have 70% of the tickets and 98% of the cash. Something tells me that the books are going to make a lot of money on this game. Everybody on the Nuggets in the market moving towards the Grizz. That's wild shit, man. 62% of tickets, 84% cash on the under, but it's gone up a point. But BJ, who's cashing these $500 bets easy, is all over this. He says, working on another but $500 winner, and he's on Mavs. He's on the Nuggets. Says lay the chalk, $500. Lay the chalk. So that's from our BJ. Joe here says Nugget quick revenge and Morant off court distraction. Sweaty Butcher says Grizzlies 0-5 straight up and against the spread as a road dog off of a win. Memphis playing at the pace of the 100.70 possessions game. Denver 97.86. They both are 4-1 over the past 5. Grizzlies come off their third straight win, 113-99 at Houston on Wednesday, snapping the 8-game road losing streak. They've been bad on the road. Nuggets are 5 games ahead of Memphis, and if Denver wins, they will hold the tiebreaker. I don't think the tiebreaker comes into play. Jansen says just continue to triple-double on Jokic. BJ says Denver's only lost 4 games at home this year. Yes, they're 28-4 at home. They're coming off their second straight win, 133-112 at the Rockets on Tuesday. And they've lost 1 game since December 6th in Ball Arena. 1 game. And Jamal Murray came back from that 3-week absence. MPJ, Aaron Gordon, both good to go. Take it away for us here, Dutch. Grizzlies, Nuggets.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy BJ. I like what he's talking there, dropping the 5 units, and I like what our guy Sweaty Butcher's talking to. Shout out to our boy. Yeah, I like the Nuggets here. I do, man. And I told you the money's going the other way. I already knew this shit was coming, so I'm not scared whatsoever. I like the Nuggets an awful lot here. I got it at 4.5 minus 115. We'll get the best number here full game. They just lost to these boys, February 25th in Memphis by 18. All right. They got smacked the fuck around in Memphis by 18 points. Denver's the best basketball team in the Western Conference. They're fucking nutty at home, man. They're 28-4 at the crib straight up, 21-10 against the number. They've won 7 straight basketball games at the crib and covered, and they've been double digits damn near every single game. They've been putting it on them at the house. These numbers aren't close. They've been those 7 games, 9 points or more in each one of those wins. So I think this is a good, solid, low number here. They are 8-0 ATS against the last 8 versus a losing team on the road as well, which Grizzlies, they handle business at the crib, but they're suspect as fuck on the road. Our boy Sweaty gave us some good numbers as well, but they're 2-6 ATS last 2-6-1, ATS last 9 in Denver. We've been able to fade them on the road, and Mile High is definitely a spot, where you have a home court advantage. They're deep as fuck there in Denver. And Joker's been doing his thing, obviously. Not mad at the triple-double, but I like the whole crew to show out at the house after getting smacked around. They beat them by 14 December 20th in Denver. The Nuggets did. So I expect the same kind of result going right back there. A double-digit win for the Nuggets at the crib.
Every stat that's being dropped by the chat, every single one leads you to want Denver. Everything except for the market at this point.
Yeah.
Do you want the 4.5 because you can get it at minus 116, or do you want the 5 at minus 105?
Yeah, let me get the 4.5. That's what I bet, minus 115.
All right. Minus 116. But
I'm just saying I bet 115.
Oh, okay, cool. That's perfect. Okay. All right. Bet that with Jay says just first quarter for me. And LJ from H-Town's Trill OG play of the day, coinciding with Dutch Boy Fresh's action. There you go.
Yeah, man. Let's get it, LJ.
Let's roll on. Roll on. Next up for us, 10 p.m. Eastern, New Orleans Pelicans, 31-32, 11-21 on the road. At the Golden State Warriors, 33-30, 26-7 at home, Chase Center in San Francisco, California. Pelicans 1-4 over the past 5, playing pace 99.4 possessions game. Warriors 4-1, playing pace 100.9 possessions game. Nasty Nate there on the Nugs trifecta. There's Bo Jackson in the house. Great to see you, Bo. And AOD says OG Trill play of the day is legendary. Last night, sitting there, with the Clippers in my pocket, it's halftime. I'm like, the Warriors aren't going to do it again, are they? Are they going to do this again? No, they're not going to do it again. And I had to turn off the TV and had to leave the house there for a little bit just to stay calm. The stress, it's such a roller coaster ride, and I love what we do. But when you're in a slump, it hurts, man. And that was just shocking what the Warriors did at home. And it makes me think that they're going to be extremely dangerous if they get healthy, which we expect them, to do here. Let's talk about the spot here. We'll start with the line history. The Warriors opening up at -4.5. They're now -4. It is juiced. Total wise, this opened up at 231. It's right there. There's been a 3-cent move towards the under. Kadesh saying Warriors 4-0 is home dogs, 5-0 now. Let's take a look here. 5-0 now after they beat the Clips last night. So let's take a look at what we're dealing with the cash in this big one. We have 77% of the tickets on the Warriors, 67% of the cash. Look, the sharp action was on the Clippers last night. I mean, so there's slightly sharp action on the Pelicans here. I mean, total-wise, 55% of the tickets and 84% of cash is on the under. Let's take a look at what that total has done again. That's done nothing. There's been a 3-cent move towards the under. Dane Kelly says, but wasn't last night more about how bad the Clips are with Russ running the team? Oh, God, this is so hard. I didn't even want to go back to what happened there. But it seems like a high total for the pace that these two teams are playing. Pelicans snapped their 4-game losing streak of the 121-110 win at Portland on Wednesday night. A BI stepping up, man. 40, dropped to 40. CJ went for 24, 7-7 against his own old team. The Pelicanos playing without Grand Theft Auto and Larry Nance Jr. Neither of them are going to be back soon. The Warriors are on the second half of back-to-back after that 4 straight win, 115-91 at home over the Clippers last night. It's pretty nice to finish a 5-0 homestand. I know it means a lot to them to do that. There'll be no Curry. There'll be no Wiggins. And it's possible that Curry is back on Sunday when they're in LA. I know it's a high-profile spot. It'll be fun for us because we'll be live betting on Sunday Night Live. Take it away for us here, Dutch. Pelicanos, Warriors.
Yeah, man, I like the Warriors here, but I haven't made it official yet because I'm kind of a little scary about who's going to be out there on the court. Maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe it don't matter who the fuck suits up. They're going to beat the Pelicanos tonight. They've lost 2 straight to the Pelicanos both this year in early and late November. I just think the Warriors, man, they've won 4 straight at the crib, covered 4 straight. As you touched on, Jim, they want to carry that momentum in. They're getting a lot out of the roster right now. If Clay can continue to play the way he has, Jordan Poole's, offensively gifted, attacking, getting hot from 3. They got the talent. Draymond's pretty much keeping those boys accountable. Say what you will about that motherfucker. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but he definitely keeps players accountable. And in today's age, you definitely need that. So, yeah, man, it's the Warriors here, double revenge spot at the crib with the momentum. The back-to-back is only hesitation here for me. Simply, I need to know who's going to be suiting up for the Warriors because I wouldn't be surprised if Clay. I wouldn't be surprised if anybody sits the way the NBA has been going.
Yeah, I feel you. Very hard to, regardless of who's in the line. The only reason to wait if someone's out is still back them at a better number, I guess.
Yeah, I mean. The 4, I don't think it moves too much right now. I don't really think there will be more than a 4-point favorite. So 4.5, 5 is not much of a difference to me. They did last against Portland, they ended up, this opened at 4, I believe, closed at a 5. So yeah, I think the Warriors get it done here though. But if Clay's out there, that's one less shooter. I just don't want to, guess.
I feel you. Leonard, I did not take the +1.5. on Monmouth, but I'm going to move on them. That game pops off in 25 minutes, so we only have 2 games left here on the show. Let's move on to the second last game here, 10 p.m. Eastern. LA Clippers 33-32, 18-17 on the road at Sacramento Kings 36-25, 18-12 at home at Golden One Center. Sacramento, California. Clippers 1-4. They're probably now. Oh no, that is the right record. I forgot. I waited. Clippers 1-4 over the past 5, playing the pace 103.06 possessions a game. Sacramento 4-1 over the past 5, playing the pace of 103.20 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history for this one. We have Sacramento opening up as 6-point favorites at Pinnacle. They're now 7.5-point favorites. I just saw some books have already moved it to 8. This total opened up at 242. It's dropped to 239. By the way, Dan Kelly's on the Pelicans first quarter +1 -105. That makes sense to me. The Warriors seem to know that they can just turn it on, don't they? They don't play with any urgency early. That's a really interesting look here. And Joe, you're saying Wiggins could be back. It's a very interesting look, Dan. I'm very interested in that one. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have here we go. 70% of the tickets on the Kings and 95% of the cash. That's absolutely wild. That's a lot. Let's go to that total here. So I should have had all markets up. Let me go over to this here. We have for the total 65% tickets, 68% cash on the under. Both teams are playing at a fast pace, though. Joe Yurkovich says after their 351-point game, maybe look under for this one. Slow Jams Arsenault says Clips double revenge after that NBA All-Star total last game. Small play on the Clips. Kings, Clips, of course, a week ago, second highest scoring game in NBA history. The only one that went higher was a triple overtime game back in 1983. Malik Monk went for career high 45. De'Aaron Fox 42-12. The Clips got 44 from Kawhi and 34 from Paul George. Leonard is not going to be in the lineup tonight. Clippers on the second half of back-to-back after, as we talked about, losing 150-91 at the Warriors last night. Norman Powell had his arm in a sling, so he's going to be out. He looked awful anyways, 1-9 shooting. Westbrook, 8 points on 3-12 shooting. They haven't won a game with him on the floor. The Kings come in really rested here. 4 straight wins. They won 123-117 to OKC on Tuesday night. They're just rolling right now. Fox, full participant at practice. He sat out the last game due to left wrist soreness. Rashawn Holmes, also non-COVID illness. He's expected to play. He still is questionable, so I don't know actually. And then, Barnes went for 29 on Tuesday. Sabonis 22 and 13 and 9. Herter had 20. Sacramento 3-0 on the road trip. And take it away first here. And that road trip opened with that wild game where they put 351 points up. Take it away first here, Dutch. Clippers, Kings.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I guess people are going to get cute and try to make a case for the Clippers here, but I don't know if you've seen Russ. Like, Draymond's defense was that shit was hilarious, bro. Ain't no one in the whole damn picture just daring this boy to shoot. He shook. He's getting back. They're 0-4. I mean, you can make a case that, without Leonard, I guess maybe you get, after being embarrassed. But I mean, how many times are we going to try to make a case for the Clippers here? The Kings are a better basketball team. They showed them. They beat them by 27 in LA. Okay. Come back to LA and give up, and then they allow them to score 176 points and beat them in triple overtime. Now you're missing your big horse Kawhi, who's been playing really good basketball. They're counting on PG, Aaron Gordon, Russell Westbrook. I mean, Zubac, Mark Morris is out. So I don't see it. I think Sabonis will have a game. I think the Kings are well rested. De'Aaron Fox has missed a couple games. He should be good to go. I think, and obviously when they see LA. These Clippers, they turn it up a little to an extra level, and Sacramento continues to get undervalued. I think it's the Kings all the way here. -6 is good money.
All right, let's lock it in for Dutch here. Find him the best line. I don't think we can get it. It's flying, man. It's flying. I mean, So you got. I don't know if you want it here because we're at 7.5 now is the best line, and the sharp books already moved it to 8. Not only that, bookmakers moved it to 8 -115 juice.
Yeah, this one we'll have to keep off because 6 is that number for me.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. All right, Dan Kelly also saying Clippers get a first half lead. He will get on the Kings. Let's move on to the final game on the board, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota Timberwolves, 32-32, 12-18 on the road at the Lake Show, 30-33, 15-14 at home. And I did move on the Lakers to make the playoffs last night, plus 165. So pretty excited about the three spots, my future spots in NBA right now. Lakers plus 165 to make the playoffs, Raptors plus 180, and the Wizards plus 290. Kind of fun. It's going to make the play-in tournament really fun. And I should be in a pretty good spot. We'll see. Minnesota 2-3 over the past 5, playing the pace of 102.2 possessions a game. Lakers 4-1 over the past 5, playing the pace of 103 possessions a game. Fast pace, and also AD back. Line history-wise, this opened up as a pick'em. Over at Pinnacle, it opened up with the Lakers plus 1, and that's where they are right now. So that plus 1, there's been a 9-cent move to the Lakers. Total-wise here, opened up at 229. It's dropped to 227.5. Take a look at the cash here for this one. Final game for us on the board. We have sorry, where is it? Sorry, my bad. Here we go. The Lakers have 53% of the tickets and 73% of the cash. 53 and 73 at home. Let's just see, are any books kind of we'll go to the money line here at Pinnacle. I'd like to see maybe Bet Online as well. So money line, we've seen the Lakers go from plus 103 to minus 106. That helps. Let's see what Bet Online has done with this one. That's Bookmaker's gone from the opposite. But Bookmaker opened this up at 8:14 in the morning. So let's not get caught up with that. I'm more interested in what happened last night when it first came out. And Bet Online opened it up at 1:55 in the morning, opened up at plus 105, and Lakers are now minus 107. The Lakers got to minus 117, though, at 10:20 this morning. So there has been some buyback. Total-wise, I think we just went over that. Let me just make sure that I remember it here. Yeah, 230.5 at Bet Online down to 228. So I'll move towards the under. And cash-wise, I said that sharp action on the Lakers. And then we have on the total 63% of the tickets, 79% cash on the under. Okay, so Timberwolves had their 3-game losing streak snapped, a 108-101 win at the Clippers on Tuesday. And Jaden McDaniels, put up 20. Also looked very good defensively. He's a gamer. Also, they dominated the Clippers in the paint. I know Zubac is out, but 60-38 in the paint. Lakers bounced back from their 121-109 loss at Memphis by winning at OKC on Wednesday, 123-117. AD will be back in the lineup. So this is a 5-game homestand for the Lakers, and it's time to put some wins together. I know there's no LeBron, but time to do that. They've won 5 of their last 7. D'Angelo Russell will not be there, but Dennis Schroeder stepping up. He had 26. Troy Brown had 19. So did Austin Reeves. Take it away for us here, Dutchie. Also, just before, Dan Kelly says, Lakers first game after a trip and lots of changes, energy spent. This could be a Lakers letdown spot, and Lakers playing their 4th game in 6 days. Slow Jam says under a nothing, Lakers being under machine lately. Take it away for us here, Dutch. Wolves, Lakers.
Yeah, man. I really don't like a side here. As I said, you touched on a little bit with Schroeder. I liked him the other night, against OKC. I think you're going to get a big game, couple, second half from Schroeder without LBJ there. They need him, especially without Russell. So look for him to exploit on the points. If you want to prop here, maybe have a little bit of fun with this game, do a prop parlay or something. I like Vanderbilt as well. Rebounds, obviously played against his old team. I think he attacks the boards there and gets freed up a little with AD back, obviously. And then I like Edwards from Minnesota perspective points. He had 29 last time he faced these boys early October. They beat him by 9 in Minnesota. That was with Towns out there as well. So obviously a lot more shots for Edwards now. He's been talking that game in LA. I look for Edwards had a huge game, but yeah, nothing for me here from the Minnesota. They impressed me with that win against the Clippers. I guess that doesn't say much the way the Clippers looked, but it was a good win for Minnesota. So would I be surprised if they smack around LA tonight? I wouldn't. But LA got to win these games. They do. So I could understand why the Sharps are on them. I can make a case for both sides here. I think it's a prop game.
I feel you. I kind of lean towards the Lakers, but Dan Kelly maybe giving me some cause for pause. Let's review all NBA action here and put a bow on this. Again, that Monmouth game pops off in 15 minutes. Sammy Calmer gave us a Hawks first quarter -2.5, Magic -3.5, Denver first quarter -1.5. Dutch also gave us a Magic -3.5, -111. Dan Kelly gave us 4 spots on the Blazers Hawks game. Atlanta team total under 124. Second quarter Portland +1.5. Fourth quarter Portland +1.5. Fourth quarter Portland Atlanta under 58.5. Celtics first half -6 is a Dan Kelly spot that I'm going to be rolling with as well. Dan Kelly's on the first quarter Knicks -2 at +122. Dutch Boy Fresh Miami +3.5 at -105. And Res Mob, absolutely loved your breakdown on that one. Dutch against the world in that spot. Fun spot to be in. Astute Chaos gave us that first half over 111.5 in Knicks Heat. Then I'm interested in the under in Suns Bulls. I'm moving on the under in Jazz Thunder. Dutch is on the Nuggets -4.5 at -116. Dan Kelly's on the this is a different spot. He's on the Jazz team total under as well on that one. The Trill OG play today from my LJ from H. He's also on the Nuggets. Then Dan Kelly gave us first quarter Pelicans +1 at -105. Clippers, Kings, we stayed off as we did with Wolves, Lakers. Love having you on these Fridays, Dutch. Thanks so much for being a part of it. I'll reach out and see if you're available for Sunday, but no pressure. Would love to have you on, though. Going to be a fun one, man. I can't wait to live bet Knicks Celtics. It's going to be glorious. Dutch, my man, thank you for your time. Follow Dutch on Twitter at DutchBoyFresh. Dutch, any last words for the Cappers here sporting the show?
We went in, Jim, and we're coming out with the motherfucking bag, my guy. Salute to y'all, man. Stay fresh.
I love it. There he is, Dutch Boy Fresh. Thank you, Dante Mack. And Utah team total under 115.5. Yeah, I have that there now, Dan. Thank you. All right, let's review all action. Monmouth game popping off in 12 minutes. I would like to get involved in it. So in NHL, Bobano's on the over 6.5 in Kraken Blue Jackets. I'm on the Oilers -1. Bobano's on the Hurricanes first period -0.5 at +110. And I'm on the under 6 in that one, under 6. Has there been any movement at all? I mean, because we saw there's been movement towards the over at Pinnacle, but none of the other books were following suit. The Bet365 has not moved once. Rick J says, why did Longwood drop from -6.5 to -6? I thought they moved to more than that. Because we'll get into that because Bobano's on the other side there. That's the Campbell game. Bobano's on the over 6 in Montreal, Anaheim. He's on Mercer for a goal for the Devils at +350 and a point at -110. Bobano's on the over 143.5 in Charleston, UNC. What is the score anyways in that one? Let's find out quickly here. We have North Carolina, Asheville up 61-51. Doesn't look like that over is going to come through. Bradley up 32-24 there in the first half. And but the live betting UNC Asheville, I just can't. I'd love just to focus on the live betting with you guys. We did such a good job in football this year, and we had a great job on Sunday Night Live. And don't forget our big Friday Night Live game tonight, Nuggets, Grizzlies. So North and Iowa, Bradley, we stayed off, but Bobano's on Monmouth +1.5 in the over 141.5. I want to come in on Monmouth. Bobano's on South Carolina Upstate +4.5 in the over 134.5. Bobano's on the over 152 in Indiana Belmont. Bobano's on Citadel +8. I'm moving on the under in that one. Bobano is on Campbell +6.5. So Bobano thinks there's value on Campbell. Rick, and you wanted to know about the cash flow, Rick J. Let's give it to you quickly here. 10 minutes still to tip off in Monmouth. I don't need to panic. Stay calm. Here in that spot, 85% of the tickets are on Longwood, just 66% of the cash. I mean, I know Longwood's destroyed Campbell, but it's clear that sharp money's on Campbell there, Rick. Bobano, as I said, on the over 141 in Murray State Drake. He's on the over 139.5 in Semo Moorhead. And we stayed off Winthrop and Radford. So Troy says, what player are you personally most confident in? In all honesty, I love the Lakers, the Wizards, and the Raptors to make the playoffs, all of those big plus money spots. I mean, it's just a great, great opportunity to me. Isaac, wow. What a enormous dono from our Isaac Fack. Says, my wife now lives with the bookie. Isaac, oh, man, you are a great, great guy and a great friend of the show, Isaac. Thank you so much for caring about us. That's a huge dono, man. Huge, huge dono. It just means so much to us. It's your hard-earned money, and that was a great win for you yesterday. Troy Torrance, no leans. Yeah, I have bets I'm making today, and I really like the Oilers. But I just don't feel like right now that I'm seeing the board. I care so much about your guys' success. So what is my best edge? And the Wizards are still at like plus 280. I mean, I guess they're expecting Raptors to win tomorrow, but that's my best edge right now. Are those three teams to make the playoffs at plus money? Those are my best edges, I believe. So let me heat up. I just don't want to lead you guys wrong, and it just keeps me up all night. And we have a parlay from Astute Chaos. Phoenix, Chicago, first half under 108. Memphis, Denver, first half under 113.5. But my goodness, Isaac, thank you. And Eldorado Custodian earlier, thank you both. It just means an absolute ton to us. So thank you guys. Jose, my man, I'm full of rage and anger. You want to jump on with us here as we put a bow on this bad boy? How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. I'm actually wearing my Diamond Show Club shirt right now because I don't want to be on the green screen because I want everyone to see the Diamond Show Club. It's a great establishment, home of the slap contest. That's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, Jimmy, I'm filled with a lot of stuff too. It's not rage, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm filled up with it. And I always like watching your action, so I believe and trust in you. Except when you bet on the Lakers. Lakers suck dick.
Wow. Tell me, didn't you say that has the Nets plus 320 to not make the playoffs? That's wild. Let me just see that right now. I mean, you have to think that to make the playoffs, that's just a wild, wild number. I have plus 300 to not make the playoffs. How did the Nets possibly get... Jesus.
A lot of it futures action.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to get caught up in futures when it's credit. It's a thing.
Oh, yeah. That's my life. You should just see my WBC. It's bullshit. It hurts. And I'm going to move on the Bruins officially. I didn't move on them preseason, but I'm going to move on them at some point. That'll be fun.
Yeah, they're a hell of a hockey team. All right, I got to get my Monmouth action in. Wow, Tommy didn't just say that. Nets plus 320, plus 300 for me. I got to go over these numbers. I mean, they don't just give you cash here, but that certainly seems feasible. All right, I got to get my Monmouth action in. God, I can't wait for horses tomorrow. I can't wait for Sunday Night Live. I just want to sit with you guys and booze and make money live. That's what I want to do. Please join us, and also join us for our big show this evening with Dabby Cab, Dabber Cadabra, and Dutch Boy. Or sorry, I keep saying it, Dabber Cadabra and Razor Sharp Pigs. Jose, my man, can you lecture us into the future? I got to get involved here.
Yes, go. You send your email to Greg. I understand. Monmouth. It's a big time plays for Mr. Jimmy the Bag as always. So shout out to everyone. Sign up for those Pubapalooza events. We need it. Pubapalooza are going to be a lot of fun. Shout out to Sonny. Became a member during this show. Love that guy. We're going to have a lot of fun at Pubapalooza. So come on by and enjoy the weekend, everyone. Stick around because Pub Sports Radio got a lot of it coming. Legit. Those bookmakers.